Okay, so testing out some sound quality first. Okay. I think that's fine. Let me hear this. There's like a background noise that is happening, but I don't think that. Oh crap! I don't think the microphone's picking it up though. But yeah, so everything's working again. So I took a short other vampire game break. I just realized I was like, wait, how many vampire games am I playing? I have another one. So I have Tsukihime here. Then I have Blood Omen 1. Then I have Eternites that I'm eventually gonna play. Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver, kinda, sorta, kinda. Slitterhead maybe, but we'll see. Maybe we'll play Slitterhead tomorrow. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's nice to finally be playing again. Life got in the way, then technology got in the way a bit, just for a bit, but still. And then I just got a new chair, so I can like lay back a little, and you won't hear screeching now. See, no loud type thing. Yeah, so I think everything's going good. Oh yeah, I was gonna, as usual, I was gonna start earlier, but this time it was the technology thing, because I was like, I couldn't have PlayStation volume working on my stream. And then I found out it's because I needed a driver update, which might be like, well, that should have been obvious, but it's like, okay, first of all, I actually looked at drivers first, and then also I have it so the drivers automatically update, and then I was like, okay, you know what? I know this has to be a settings thing, some other settings thing. So I was looking through the settings, and then it was like allow sound, and I'm like, why would this ever be disabled? And I'm still not sure what's going on with that. But then I see that it needs an update, and I'm like, right below the update, it says it will. This is automatic. This will automatically. It's the setting thing where you say, do you? This will automatically update when available, when an update's available, and it's like, why is that there and that at the same time? Like, let me check right now. Even like what is the logic on this? Hmm? Yeah, it says like you can check for updates, but it's not mentioning. Yeah, right now it's not mentioning that it automatically will update, even though before it was. I mean, I have automatic updates on everything as far as I'm aware. Whatever. Let me see. How's the game sound? Well, I mean, it's pretty quiet. I'm sure it'll get more loud when we play the game, so we'll see how this goes. I have all my drinks ready. So we'll get through one day for sure. But I'm not confident about much more than that. We got some milk tea. We got some tea. Actually, I should call it honey tea. And we got some Mountain Dew. We got it all. Okay. So I don't remember what was in the. I think the last episode or the last day was just like a relaxing day. I think. No, metamorphosis. You know what? Let's go check. Might as well get used to these controls a little bit. Dang, that's not it. I don't know why I clicked that. Right. It was a normal day, and then she showed up, and then it was a very long explanation day. I don't remember what this scene was right here, though. Wait, Vampire Lair. Oh, this was when she kind of trapped us in the garage and made us fight. Because she's like, you're like me. So, you know, she wants to kind of like unleash my evil, my inner, violent side, I suppose. I mean, it's a weird, though, because like before we met her, basically, she would just do things robotically, apparently. Like, just, that needs to be killed, kill it. That does not need to be killed, don't kill it. Supposedly, that's how she acts. It's just weird because that's how they describe it, but then why does she have all this personality? Like, she never, like, comments on, hey, I've never thought about this before in this way. Like, she doesn't really say that. She just says, you humans are weird or something, and that's it. So, but yeah, so we should get through one day at least. Yeah, I'm sure that death will be a different thing, probably. Yeah, things are going to be very different this day, actually. Because, yeah, this is the day where normally we would meet Mario and learn about Ciel. But we learned about Ciel all the way up here. Is that the same? That's like a half moon. And then right here, it's oh gosh, why does it do this? I think it's a half moon too. I think this is the same picture right here as up there. I think. Okay, it's a little more. Actually, it's not a half moon. It's like a little more than a half moon, but you know, they're following the correct phases of the moon because I think the first day is called the new moon, right? Okay, it's not called new moon, but it's a new moon, and then after that, it keeps getting more and more full over the course of 14 days until at 14 days it's a full moon, or 13 days, whatever, however that works. But anyway, okay. So she said, Master Shiki. Feel the morning sun on my face and hear Hisui calling me. By the way, I have to check all these settings because now that I'm playing like old games and new games and really casual games, it's all really weird. You know, maybe once the most of the visual novels that I have done are done, then I won't have to worry about this so much. But yeah, right now it's a bit much to keep track of, especially since I think my game audio is normally pretty quiet anyway. Her monotonous voice jolts my consciousness awake. I sit up and reply to Hisui. A flash of pain pierces my temples, though not enough to keep me in bed. I shake my head lightly and get out of bed. That sounds like a hint at a later story route. Like, why is she so intimately connected to you? Like, we already know that she was the maid who allowed me and my sister Akiha to go and wander in the woods, right? Because like, so she's like, she ended up being responsible, and then she's like, I'll never let anything bad happen to you again. I mean, we never saw her say that. It's just like clearly that's the vibe she's giving off, you know? Wait a second. Which is why Hisui coming to wake me up is such a huge help. She even brings me a change of clothes. What more could I ask for? She's my servant.
7時ちょっとか。あんまり余裕はないな。着替えて顔を洗ったら食堂に行くから、先に行っていてくれ。
Hisui's looking at me like she has something to say. Is she nervous? She seems to be shaking a little. Maybe they noticed I left last night. Looking into her fragile, gloomy eyes makes me...
関係のない話なのですが、就寝時間の後、私と姉さんは2時間おきに屋敷の見回りをいたします。午後9時は姉さんが、11時は私が、午前1時には姉さんが屋敷中の戸締まりをチェックしているのです。
I guess this is where we like learn, oh, they locked the doors. You know, they knew that I was gone and when I was gone pretty much in the first route. Though I already kind of figured, I mean, it was a little weird that Shiki's just like, whoa, I'll just sneak out, and it's like, well, why don't you go through your bedroom window? It's really weird that he does this. Like really he can't survive a two-story drop? Really? I mean, even if he did, there is a camera seemingly, apparently. So that's kind of weird too. But yeah, like the fact that he thought, yeah, we don't lock our front door in this giant mansion, like really?
そうだったんだ。それ大変じゃないか。夜と朝だけでいいだろうに。
No. This is for intruders, idiot. This isn't about you and Akiha.
決まりですから、どうかお気になさらないでください。その時の話ですが、仮に私が施錠を忘れた箇所があっても、午前1時には姉さんが見つけて施錠し直してしまうので。
This is kind of weird though, the way she says this, because it's like, wait, shouldn't Kohaku also be on our side? Like, she could just tell Kohaku, hey Kohaku, he's sneaking out, make sure you leave the door open, you know, like, right? You'd think. I'm just wondering, like, is that going to be relevant in a later route where like they leave the door unlocked for him, but then that lets some villain in? But I don't know, vampires don't need to ask to be led inside a house as far as I can think. I don't think it's ever came up, maybe? I don't know. I would assume not, though. It's kind of an archaic rule. Now I get what Hisui's trying to say. She's talking about the service door in the West Wing. She noticed every night, idiot. Hisui hangs her head Hisui hangs her head apologetically.
あ、いや、違うんだ。怒ってないよ。でも、そっか。翡翠は知ってたのか。だから勝手口の鍵閉められずにいたんだな。
Or maybe they're talking about the actual gate for the property, maybe?
はい。鍵が開いていましたので、もしやと思い、勝手ながら四季様のお部屋の様子を拝見させていただきました。
Hisui's voice dwindles. This must be tough for her, having to condemn her master's illicit activities.
ありがとう。おかげで昨日は助かった。翡翠は全然悪くないよ。もともと夜中に出歩く俺に問題があるんだから。
I'm trying to remember what time he got back. I feel like it was only a little after midnight, maybe.
ああ、でも。
I can't ask her to keep it quiet from Akiha. Yeah, you can. It would only make things harder for Hisui. She may tend to my needs, but her actual employer is Akiha, the head of the Tono family. Being dishonest with her will hurt her Hurt her standing in the future. I mean, isn't she gonna be a maid for life? Like, it's gonna impact her, the likelihood of her getting a raise, like, or something, like. Don't worry, these aren't slaves. They're like legal servants. It's fine. It's fine.
アキハには俺から説明するよ。翡翠は何も知らないふりをしてくれればいい。
And then she's like, yeah, right. Hisui makes no reply. She just keeps staring at me.
何かな。
僭越ながら、四季様は全く反省していません。
I wish that Shiki would just say, this is literally an obligation to help a friend. You know, that's it. But no.
いや、はい。
It's like, you remember the part where this is technically not allowed?
失礼しました。訂正いたします。そのお顔を見るに、四季様に改める気はないのですね。
Oof, she looks so meek. Yet she cuts right where it hurts. Like, really? You're the one lying to her face. Acting like, ooh, it was... Yeah, I'll apologize and then do it again the next night.
すまない。約束があって今夜も出かけることになる。けど誓って悪い遊びをしてるわけじゃない。あれはその。
I mean, at least he admits that it's a promise to someone. I'm fighting the remnants of a vampire army so that they don't kill anyone else. It's not like I can just say that, but saying nothing does make me look suspicious.
それは今夜だけなのでしょうか。
どうかな。俺にもわからない。ただ長くは続かないと思う。
では危険なことはないのですか。四季様がまた怪我を負って帰ってくるようなことは。
ああ、それなら大丈夫。戦車みたいに強いやつが一緒だから何があっても怪我なんかしないよ。
Sounds drug related to me. That's one thing I can promise with confidence. I don't think there's anyone in the whole city that could be Arquid. Even though you literally saw Ciel fight, but okay. Actually, he hasn't even seen Arquid's, like, any aspect of her power, really. Like, her strongest stuff was all in the original route when she fought Vlav, but if not for that fight, he hasn't really seen her do much, just kind of move fast and swipe to kill stuff, and that's it. But, like, you can assume that Ciel does that too, or could do that, you know, if she wanted to kill stuff that quickly, that easily. I mean, she's super strong, I think. Hisui bows courteously and leaves the room. She's given me the greatest concession she has the power to make. What she's saying is that she'll look the other way while she's on patrol, so as long as I'm back by 1, I'll get in undetected. Are you gonna tell Arquid that? I change into my school uniform and leave my room. I had a headache when I woke up, but now I seem to be doing well. I'll wash my face in the second floor bathroom, then head to the dining room. You know, I forgot that they don't have bathrooms in their rooms. That's kind of weird, isn't it? Let me raise the volume a little bit. Okay. Especially since usually I shouldn't get overpowered by the background music. Now that we are well into fall, the tap water runs cold. I usually just splash some water on my face, but today I let the water collect in the basin and dunked my whole face in. The icy water steals the warmth from my face. My eyes, nose, and mouth are drowned, and I lose all sensation. Suddenly it's really edgy. Feeling as if a death mask is plastered to my face, I'll lift my face out of the water. I take one look at myself in the mirror and notice that something is off. It hits me immediately that I don't have my glasses on. I was wondering about that too, yeah. I just figured like, okay, maybe he's about to put them on any second. I was just washing my face, so that makes sense. Be that as it may. I think I was like, when he was in the hallway, I remember him not having the glasses. All right. I've calmed down now. Or does he still have his glasses on? With my glasses in place, I make for the dining room where Kohaku was waiting. Okay, that was weird. All right. Okay. Again, though, maybe this is like awakening his inner killer, inner violent side, maybe? I don't know. Of the 5 routes, I have no idea which one would be like the most... Which one would make Shiki the most ruthless? I think that's the right word for it. Probably, though, the Akiha route, assuming the Akiha gets in trouble. I mean, that probably would make him the most angry. Like, we haven't seen him get that angry at the end of the day. Like, you know, that's where, like, it's no coincidence that we start the first route as being a complete stranger. Then we get to Ciel, somebody who's a little better than a stranger. And then, I mean, I don't know the order of the next 3 routes. I don't know if it's Kohaku first or whatever. But, you know, them 3, Kohaku, Hisui, and Akiha are all a lot closer than these 2. So, like, it's obviously, like, the more personal the situation is, the more that his inner... Well, the more emotional he'll get when a major situation happens and, you know, they're involved, right?
Ohayo, Akiha.
Ohayo gozaimasu, Nii-san. Kenkou na gakusei rashii. Yoyuu no aru asa de nani yori desu.
Suspicious. She's a little in too good of a mood. Gracefully sipping a cup of tea. Akiha appears to be in a particularly fine mood this morning. Something good must have happened.
Nii-san mo nanika onomi ni nararemasu ka? Jikan wa mada aru desho?
Regular cup? Black? Green? What is it? I'm noticing more and more that translations for subtitles are like real bad. Like there will be times where it is becoming almost a very common occurrence to hear a word in Japanese. I mean, a lot of times they're just saying the word in English, and then I see the subtitles and it's like, you didn't even say the word. They didn't even translate the word that was said. It's not like they said, oh, I don't even know what it would be. Give and take. They've literally said English words, give and take. And then the translation is, I don't know, it's like, you win some, you lose some, or I do this for you and you do that for me, or something like, it's something weird like that. It's like, why are you saying that? They literally said give and take in English from the Japanese voice actors. Just say give and take. We get it. Like, it's so crazy. It's like, no, that's not a good interpretation of what they're saying, though. Like, oh my gosh. Just don't. I don't know.
普通などというお茶はないのですけどね。琥珀、兄さんにも一つ入れてあげて。チョイスはあなたに任せるわ。
But it's weird because he even said that I think it was in this route that he said that he actually had tea at his was it aunt and uncle's place? I think it's aunt and uncle's, you know, the previous house he lived at, that he would drink tea there regularly. I could have sworn he said that at least. So why would he say regular? Kohaku heads to the kitchen with a smile. I sit down on the sofa across from Akiha and check the news on my phone. While there is no shortage of random news, there is nothing about any murders. I may have been expecting it, but this confirms that there have been no new victims. I mean, there could have still been victims if there was any vampires left, but Ciel confirmed that there's no vampires left. As I pocket my phone after checking the news, Akiha is staring at me like she's witnessed something truly bizarre. That's because you just took out your phone and you're not supposed to have it.
なんだよ。携帯ぐらいはいいんだろ。今だってニュースサイトをチェックしただけで。
別に怒ってはいません。すぐにしまってくれましたし、朝のニュースぐらいは知っておくのはいいことですから。ただ、兄さんがそういうものを使いこなす姿というのがイメージに合わなかったので驚いただけです。
I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
お前の中でどんなイメージなんだよ、俺は。とはいえ、俺も使いこなしてはいないよ。今朝は気になることがあっただけで、普段はあまり使わないし。話したいことや知りたいことがあったら、本人と直接話した方がいい。
そうなんですか。
そりゃあ時間の許す限りは。1行や2行の言葉のやり取りでわかるのは1行2行分のことだけだし、連絡事項としては便利だけど、
I would think that this would be a very
会って話した方が断然いい。
would be a very common thing to think, but I don't know. I've seen some times where people have like several paragraphs. And it's like, okay. Also, remember in the original game, he did not have a cell phone because it took place in 2000, I believe. I think it was the year 2000, 2001, somewhere around there. So I have no idea what this conversation was like. Maybe actually she was like, "You're looking at the paper," you know, like the paper's just lying on the table. And it's like, you're looking at the news. That's not common for you. And then he's like, well, I don't always look at the news, but, you know, I was curious today. And that's it, probably.
一部分しか表せないシステムなのに、その一部分を見た人間は、それが相手の全部分だと錯覚するということですね。
See, my problem with how they're describing this right now, though, is most of the time people use phones to communicate with people that you have already met. So this is a really weird thing to say, like, you can't understand the full extent of what the person's saying just through a phone. And it's like, do people have philosophical, moral, or professional conversations through a phone? Like, and by professional, of course, I mean like, this is what I plan to do for the rest of my life or something. You know what I mean? It's like, what? No, like, communicate basic information. That said, though, again, there's people who are like, there's a really important thing that we have to talk about in our relationship, and we're going to text about it. It's like, wait, why would you text about that? That's very weird.
例えば、発信者はつま先しか見せていないのに、その爪が猫のものだっただけで、全身まで猫だと決めつけるような。
Okay.
私もその意見には賛成です。文字だけならいくらでも嘘をつけるのが人間ですし。
That's not what he said. He didn't say text if text is the only means of communication. Like, he never said humans are capable. Humans can lie without limit even if you talk to them in person. It just takes more effort. That's it. Sheesh. Freaking Japanese people. Also, this whole thing about the cat's claw thing, it's like, so you're implying that I almost feel like this might actually end up being relevant later. Like they're gonna be like, ooh, see, you saw a cat's claw and you assumed, all this other stuff, other than the cat, right? You saw the tip of the iceberg of this subject or whatever's going on, but you don't see the rest of it, is I think what they're trying to imply. I don't know why they had to have this conversation about that. It's almost like they're trying to say like, oh, maybe you've never thought about it, but when you're on the phone, people miscommunicate. It's like, what? Everybody, what age is this for? You could be 16 years old and still know that you miscommunicate often when you're texting. Like, what? Or calling. Oh, great, family head. I don't know how to say this, but if someone has the claws of a cat, isn't it natural to think they're a cat?
まあそこまでは言ってないけど
Yeah.
簡素な人間関係もそれはそれで便利だと思うよ。知り合う人全部に全身全霊で向き合ってたら体力が持たないし。
Also, this is coming from Akiha, someone who, as far as we can tell, has no friends. Or if she does have friends, they literally never come home to visit her. They're just school friends, which are practically just professional friends, really.
いろんなところに行けるようになって、いろんな人と知り合えるようになった以上、人間関係も最適化させないと潰れちまうってのは友人からの受け売りだけど。
Then Arihiko, the one who said that, lives his life in the exact opposite manner.
そう、安心したわ。兄さんにも心を許せるご友人がいたんですね。機会があれば私にも紹介してもらおうかしら。
It's so weird because, like, they've already implied that they were going to meet in this route, and now they're implying it again? Like, is that because it's going to be a plot point? Maybe? I mean, it's not like he's going to turn into a vampire, right? You would think. I don't know.
もちろん遠野家の長男におかしな遊びを教えていないかどうかじっくりと質問させていただくのを前提で。
And she's like, ooh, I'm going to get him in trouble. He's you know, he's got big britches, this guy. And it's like, you don't know anything about this guy. You have no idea. Like, this is like the least timid person ever. And I feel like she'd just be like, I'm just gonna bully him or whatever. And then it's like, no, he would just be hitting on you the whole time. Yeah. I realized yet again how scary my sister is. Not that I needed the reminder. And then our Hiko comes in. Hey, what you doing? How's it going? Want a date? You never know what he's gonna say. Never know. Never know. Gohaku brought my Hojicha while I was chatting with Akiha. Hojicha Akiha. Its flavor is subtle, but it makes for a refreshing drink. The hot tea... Refreshing and hot? Okay. When the hot tea washes away my post-breakfast sluggishness. Also, did he say he ate and then came to the tea room? I was under the impression that he had came to the tea room, then he was going to eat. Like, he drank the tea in preparation to go. But I guess normally at this time, yeah, that's right. They go eat, then drink tea, then leave. Whereas when they come back from school, they drink tea, then eat, then sleep, more or less. Akiha rises from the sofa without a sound. Must be time for her to go to school.
お先に失礼しますね、兄さん。私は夕方まで帰れませんが、兄さんのご予定は？
Her casual question makes me perk my head up. What are you going to do? For some reason, these unremarkable words pierce me through the heart. She's just asking about my plans for today. But it feels like she's asking me what I'm going to do from here on out. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. But I assume that it seems weird that she would say that, you know, when we were just talking about the whole thing about him sneaking out and stuff. But I suspect she's just finally actually interested in what he does with his day. Probably. And that's it. And so he's just overthinking it.
いや、特に何もないよ。
Not much.
学校に行って終わったら帰ってくるだけだ。
そんなことなら午後の予定はキャンセルしておけばよかった。
I wonder what that means. Akiha mutters discontentedly.
アキハ。
いえ、何でもありません。それではごきげんよう。兄さんも遅刻などしないでくださいね。
I wonder what that's supposed to mean. No idea. Akiha leaves the parlor with Kohaku. I'm left alone with my thoughts once again. Until yesterday, I had been so focused on what I should do that I never thought about what I wanted to do.
今の俺がしたいこと
As one of the few who knows the truth, I should prioritize dealing with the vampire's minions. But if I put my feelings of obligation aside... Sure enough, Ciel's face pops into my brain. See, yeah, this is kind of even more so the turning point than before. I mean, it already was before, but now that we've actually worked together to beat the vampire. Yeah, we're still in the middle of the transition point in the story, technically. Like, obviously we're fully transitioned. I'm just saying, like, we haven't actually done that many things other than, again, Ciel fought Vlav. That was pretty much the only major thing that changed. Although, then again, then there's everything that Ciel killed the rest of the vampires, and Arkwood's going off the deep end a little bit. And has already killed, what's his name? Well, he doesn't matter. He's dead in this route. So we'll see what happens with her. I mean, I assume that she's gonna go evil, and then Ciel's gonna have to fight her, I guess?
そりゃシエル先輩のことは好きだけど
I am both interested in her and attracted to her. I want to get to know her better, see her smile more. Like, he's like, I'm attracted to a girl. Like, yeah, what? Like, I know that this is his first crush. Okay, sure, fine. But still, like, it's weird the way he's like, I want to get to know her better? What? Yeah. And yet, as much as I like Ciel, I can't just ignore Arkwood. I mean, like, it's kind of weird to say that considering, like, you can hang out with Ciel in the afternoon and then hang out with Arkwood at night, right?
いや違う放っておけないのは吸血鬼のことだからだ街から吸血鬼がいなくなればきっと
Then again, this is why this is the turning point. It's like, normally it would have taken them longer to kill off the vampires, and even Arkwood would have taken her time, but instead, well, like they said, like, Noelle was like, oh, it'll take 6 months. Ciel does it in like one night, not even one day, one night, apparently, or maybe it was one day, but still, like, what? Why did it take her so little time compared to what Noelle was thinking? Like, even if you're like, well, Noelle was going to take her time, it's like, that still feels like at most she would double the time, and even then that seems questionable. So like 3 months at least, but yeah, apparently not. But also, more than likely, it's just so the story goes at a fast pace. So there's that too. Then Arkwood and I will be done working together. There won't be any more loose ends, and things will go back to the way they were before.
そうだ俺がしたいことなんてそれしかないじゃないか
Satisfied with the conclusion I've reached, I get up from the sofa. It's 10:30. Better get going or I won't make it on time.
それはそれとハルクエイドとのことは黙っているしかないんだよな
Of course. For the drama. Though, wait, Ciel already knows, though. Wait, what is the drama in this situation? Because Ciel definitely knows that he's with Arkwood. But I don't know if Arkwood is aware that Ciel was watching them the whole time. I mean, she probably was, but she also probably wouldn't care, so... The two of them are like oil and water. I feel a little guilty keeping it a secret, but I have to make sure Ciel doesn't find out until it's all over. Another day. 10 minutes before homeroom, I arrived to find Arihiko and Ciel having a friendly chat by my desk.
あれシエル先輩
Ciel stops talking the moment I call her name.
よっおはようさん時間ギリギリで投稿とかお前様ここ一番でついてないね今朝はシエル先輩が遊びに来てくれたってのに
ああそれは見ればわかるけど先輩 しくない。
あ？おかしいところなんてねっての。いつもキュートなシエル先輩舐めてんの？今だって俺とトーノの昔話で盛り上がって、あれ？
Arihiko finally notices it too. Ciel is obviously in a terrible mood. Her silence is intimidating. Scratch that. It's terrifying. Arihiko quietly inches towards me and speaks in a whisper.
なんかしでかしたのかトーノ。先輩めちゃくちゃ不機嫌だぞ。さっきまであんなに笑顔だったのに。
いや、俺は何もしてない。お前こそ何か失礼なこと言ったんじゃないのか。
Ciel glares at me bitterly. No way. She couldn't. What? She couldn't have found out about me in Arkwood, could she? She have found.
おはよう先輩。俺の席にいるってことは、今朝は俺に話でも？
別に遠野くんになんてみじんも関心はありません。ただちょっと気になったので様子を見に来ただけです。よく貧血で倒れるとのことなので。
それ俺に用ですよね。
I wasn't concerned about you at all. I just wanted to check if you were okay. I'm like, okay. Well, that came out before I could stop myself.
見ようによってはそう言えないこともありません。まったく朝から健康そうで結構ですね。
Ciel fidgets with her glasses, looking a little embarrassed. Her polite words clash horribly with her acidic tone.
とにかく私は乾くんと話しているのです。遠野くんに用はありませんから、教室の隅かロッカーの中にでも入って自己反省をしていてください。
She's like, just like, or wait. This finger pose does not look good in real life. I mean, it's pretty much just. Yeah, pretty much. Ciel's expression tightens as she coolly delivers her killing blow. Arihiko and I look at each other as if on cue.
つまりあれだ。理由はわからんが、先輩は遠野を懲らしめたいと。つうか土下座レベルで反省させたいと。
いえ、そこまでの話じゃないんですけど。
いや、そこまでの話と見た。こいつは人並みの情がないんでよく地雷踏むからな。よし、そういうことなら力になりましょう。当のしりとりしようぜ。
なんでしりとり？
正気かてめえ。
Ciel and I shout in unison. Also, don't we have like 5 minutes left? Our eyes meet for a second, but we awkwardly look away.
どうしてしりとりなんでしょう？説明を求めます。
いやー、先輩。遠野の泣かせ方知ってる？
遠野くんの泣かせ方？知りませんが、興味が湧いてきました。ぜひ教えてください。
もちろん。ただし、遠野と仲直りするのが条件っす。遠野の弱みを教えるってことで手打ちにしてやってください。
Ciel O's ooze? Is that ooze or O's? Ciel ooze, impressed by Arihiko's deft negotiating. Ooh. Oh. Same thing. It's all the same thing. I've got to hand it to him. That's all it took for him to put Ciel in a good mood again. That said.
お前、それ言っていいの俺じゃないか普通。
だってお前バラさねえじゃん。先輩朝から来てくれたのにお前は一向に来ないし、加えて何かしでかしたんならこれぐらいのリターンねえとな。
でも大体面白い話じゃないだろそれ。
遠野くんは黙っていてください。さあ乾くん、ハリアップ。こうなったら話を聞くまでテコでも動きません。
3 minutes until homeroom. Just thinking about Ciel and Miss Noelle running into each other here is making my stomach hurt. There's no other way out.
それがですね、トーン、しりとりすると泣くんですよ。試しに1分続けてみるとわかりますよ。
え、本当に？しりとりってあのしりとりですよね。
Maybe he's like
言葉尻をつなげていく。
can't rhyme.
そうそう、もうボロッボロ泣く。中学の頃、それを知らない女子どもがびっくりしてさ、なんか悲しい出来事でも思い出させちゃったのとか。むやみに大人気で俺は頭にきましたけどね。
Ciel looks at me, confusion clear as day on her face. Same, really. But sometimes the human body just acts a certain way and you have no idea why.
その繋がらない感じが嫌なんです。誰だってあるでしょ。理由はないけどダメなことって。食べ物の好き嫌いと同じです。
本当に？
Ciel nervously asks me to confirm this ridiculous story.
はい、本当です。
I told you it was a
つまらな
stupid
いって
story.
言ったんだバカアリヒコ。見ろ、先輩だって呆れてるだろ。
I try to change the subject. The fact that a word game is my ultimate weakness is just plain embarrassing. Though I seem to have misread Ciel's reaction.
いえ、呆れてなんかいませんよ。逆に感動しました。そんな秘密、遠野くんにもあったんですね。
See, all the girls love it. To hear your weakness. Ciel's voice comes out shyly. She coughs to clear the air.
大変失礼しました。個人的な理由で遠野くんを糾弾したかった私ですが、それも筋違いだと反省しました。二度と教室に私情は持ち込まず、楽しい学園生活を送ることをここに誓いましょう。
Ciel turns to face me, a familiar smile on her face. Her mood seems to have improved. But the bell rings heartlessly, signaling the start of homeroom. We'll have to put our chat on hold until lunch.
おっと、時間ですね。それでは乾くん、遠野くん、縁があればまた放課後に。乾くんもあんまりサボっちゃダメですよ。
Don't skip too many classes. Although she's in a rush, Ciel leaves the classroom at a natural, unhurried pace. Arihiko waves to her back. Her verbal warning may have worked. It looks like he's going to stick around for class today. Meanwhile, at lunchtime... No, I guess not. Third period, math. Day crawls by, everything's the same as always. Human habits don't change. As long as anything strange stays out of sight. Sit here in class knowing that vampires still lurk around town. Everyone continues their routines, knowing that people have been getting murdered. Humans are so resilient. They are able to duel their sense of danger and adapt to any changes they are faced with to protect their way of life. It's a fundamental skill for all who live in modern society. Never mind the fact that all the murders were done at night, and so everybody's supposed to go home early. And never mind the fact that it's one murder in a city of like 1 million or something. Okay, you know, like, all right, we're dueling our sense of danger. It's like, it's literal herd mentality. It's literally that it's one, as far as they know, it's one person killing one person, not even per night, just like sometimes. Even if it was per night, it'd still be 365 people over the course of 1 year out of about 1 million people. We're not dueling our sense of danger. There is no danger. In 1 year, 3% of the population. Well, no, would it be 3%? No, it wouldn't even be 3%. In 1 year, 0.3% of the population will be dead. I mean, even, and that's assuming it was one person per night, which is not even. Incidentally, Arihiko has gone missing since first period. Ciel's warning lasted for all of an hour. I thought that he said since first period. Okay, I guess after. This is also a routine. Arihiko Inui won't change his lifestyle because of a big hole in front of the station. Even if he senses that there's something wrong, he can't break free from his habits. Maybe I'm just the same. I go to class knowing that there are still vampires around. I let the vampires roam free in order to stick to Shiki Tono's routine. By telling myself that they pose no threat during the day, they don't pose a threat, that I can't meet up with Arkwid until nighttime, I prioritize my own comfort and well-being while preaching about doing good. Do I lack a sense of danger? Or a sense of justice? Probably both. I threw them out the window the moment I agreed to cooperate with the vampire Arkwid. Well, that was not true. That was, in the first route, that was definitely not true. I conformed to human society while going down a path no normal person would choose. And that feels completely natural to me. Also, it's worth noting that he's saying this is all unnatural, but then it's like, well, what about Ciel and Noel? Ciel and Noel. You know, they're treading that same path, right? So, like, what?
どうしました、遠野くん。気分が悪いんですか?
I answer no to the voice coming from the front of the classroom. I feel fine. In fact, I've been feeling pretty good since yesterday. Confused, I turn towards the window. That's odd. Even the transparent reflection of my face looks decidedly sick. My body crumples without a sound. Distantly, I can make out the teacher's concerned voice calling to me. Feeling too good is what led to my downfall. My fading vision is probably the result of anemia-induced dizziness. Try as I might to maintain it, I lose consciousness. Everything around me turns black, like a curtain has fallen over the world. Why did he tell the teacher then that he was feeling fine? Like, what? Also, why was he feeling fine then? I don't think that's ever happened before. I dream suddenly. I don't suddenly dream, I dream suddenly. When I was young, I spent months in the care of a local hospital being treated for an illness. It was a dull but tranquil time, allowing me to recover both physically and mentally. Not long after I discharged. By the way, tranquilly in the hospital sounds like the worst place ever to recover mentally. That feels like that would kill your mind mentally. Oh, nothing happened. I just slept in the bed and that's it. Like, not long after I was discharged. By the way, this was when he was around between 10 and 12 years old, which coincidentally is when I got a pretty serious disease. And I went to the hospital and I was there for like about a week or something. And you know what I did? Played video games, because the hospital knew that a kid just sitting in a bed for days on end is not good for them mentally. Just like, you know, I focused on the video games, felt pretty good, never had any issue whatsoever. But like, nah, no video games. Yeah, you just would sit in bed and you'd be fine. It'd be fine. I mean, not that you need video games. I'm just saying, like, the idea that doing nothing is somehow going to recover yourself mentally. It's like, maybe if you're sleeping, I guess. Not long after I was discharged, I had a dream that smelled of blood. Some relatives took me in, and those days passed by peacefully. Wait, some relatives? Shouldn't be the relatives? I was a model student, graduating middle school without any issues. But no matter what, I could never escape the touch of death. I guess he's being, like, detached from reality now. It followed me constantly, like a shadow. After receiving news of my father's passing, I returned to my family home and was reunited with my sister for the first time in years. While she had grown into a beautiful woman, parts of her hadn't changed at all. There were also 2 twin girls who were devoted to taking care of the mansion. I tried my hardest not to look, but I knew that I'd be able to see an end to everything here as well. I saw a woman I didn't know. A woman I had nothing to do with. It was a random encounter. Even with abnormality, I still felt human. I entered her room. Her vitality was captivating. My spine trembled with lust. I didn't need to understand the concept of love to know that this was it. I wanted to know this woman, so I did. And without excuse or denial, this was the end result. Was she really smiling, though? I mean, they kind of show that she wasn't smiling when it happened, but okay, sure. The warm blood sears my skin. The nauseating stench of the stuffing that spills out of each unraveled seam assaults my senses. The abdomen is like an overturned bucket, but the extremities bring to mind something different. The scattered arms and legs look like slices of cake, red like strawberries, white like cream, yellow like sponge cake. This pungent air sticks to me, reeking of violence. The smell of blood and organs enters my nostrils and penetrates my brain. The thoughts are shaken into disarray. My sense of reality is blurred. My body becomes weightless. My eyes are glued to this image. I hear a dripping sound, the hiss of rain, or the rush of a waterfall. It is only about 3 liters of blood, yet I feel like I am in an endless ocean. The cross-section of any body part is captivating enough to be a work of art. The more I compare them, the more my own ugliness stands out. I feel like a soldier parachuting down to the ground. What I was looking down upon just a moment ago is actually so large that I have to crane my neck up at it. The corpse expands. A tsunami crashes into my mind. It's too late for me. It's too overwhelming to contain. This is no metaphor. The amount of information I am trying to process is enough to drown me. I can't run. I can't even breathe. This is the mechanism of life, far too vast. I hid my eyes from it until now, learning of it only as a function, concept. As my consciousness grows smaller and smaller, so does my sense of self. My individual self withers away, unable to withstand its own inferiority. I am powerless to stop it. The more I fade away, the more my sins are obscured, the larger the world grows. The realization hits that I'm nothing more than an insect. The dismembered parts are like giant buildings. The spilled blood becomes a flood submerging the city. I become a maggot infesting the corpse and look up at the scene. This is what it means to kill a person. Surrounded by my own wretched deed, I quiver like I am the victim, frantically, shamelessly looking for salvation. See? You've shown your true colors now. Hearing someone speak to me, I snap out of my masochistic trance. What lies before me is very clearly a corpse. I've learned that once the human body stops moving, it becomes unwanted baggage. It becomes an eyesore. It takes up space. It's hard to clean up after. It's a hassle to dispose of. I see. No wonder I don't like having this indoors. Doesn't count because your target resurrected? Don't run from your own guilt. No matter the target, it doesn't change the fact that you're a freak. This feeling. You've always been inhumane. You can't restore humanity that was never there. Did you really think you'd been a good person this whole time? It feels so good in the worst way. I'm going to puke. How stupid. I've already killed once with these hands. What am I losing my mind over now? The creature I am is worth even less than an insect. Beauty? I never had the right to speak of such things to begin with. It was all a dream. A silly dream that I was a decent human being. I kind of can see where we're going in the Ciel route. How we are going to kind of rely on Ciel more this time. Maybe like the first route, it was more like a power trip. And it's like, it's fine. It's all good. And here it's like, but murder though. But the murder though. Ah, you know. My consciousness feels dulled. Like I'm waking up from a nightmare or something. I open my eyes to see that I'm in the nurse's office. And Ciel is here? I've been here so many times I can tell just by looking at the ceiling. The curtains are drawn around me as I lie in bed. Although I'm awake, I can't move. It feels as if blood flow has been cut off to my extremities. All I'm able to do is breathe, and even that takes a conscious effort. I might pass out again if I lose focus. When this happens, there's nothing I can do but wait for my circulation to improve. Calling for help would only make me lose even more strength. I look up at the ceiling without moving an inch and finally regain my hearing. I hear voices coming from the other side of the curtain.
この国に来てから出費が増えて大変よね。安くていいものばかりなんだもの。お買い物もつい弾んじゃうんじゃない？
Sounds like Noelle. Wait. It's so weird to say everything is so cheap here. I've been spending more money. It's like you don't even own an apartment, Ciel. Like if you were eating a lot, I'd understand, but she's kind of implying that she's like shopping for other stuff. So it's kind of weird.
そうそう。昨日潰した人の話したっけ？高級マンションに引きこもってたやつ。もうめっちゃくちゃいいお酒持ってたの。処分した人の持ち物には手を出しちゃいけない決まりだけど、1本ぐらい拝借してもよかったかな。そもそもあいつら味覚ないんでしょ？なんでワインなんてコレクションしてたのかしら。
Why would she be saying this to Ciel though?
生前からの習慣でしょう。人化した人間は人間以上の体を得たにもかかわらず、人間だった頃の趣味に執着します。肉体が変化したことへの反動として人間的だった自己にすがりつくんです。
それちょっとわかるかも。先生も若い頃の洋服大事にとってあるし、もう着れないのに捨てられないのよね。だって一度も着れなかったし、お姫様みたいなドレスでね、着こなすには勇気が必要だったの。そんな勇気が出る前に大人になっちゃったけど。
ノエル先生。
そういう意味じゃないってば。ただの思い出話よ。でもなるほどね。本国の首都に宗教家が多いのはそういうわけだったんだ。この国の吸血鬼たちが物欲に走りがちなのも納得。あれ？でも日本人って仏様にお祈りするんでしょ？シエルさん、確かお母さんが日本人だったわよね。こっちに親戚とかいないの？
それは今関係のない話です。それより静かに。彼が起きてしまいます。疲れているようですし、昼食まで睡眠を取らせるべきでしょう。
The voices belong to Ciel and Noelle. From what they were talking about, I'm guessing they're the only ones in here. They must have heard that I fainted and came to check up on me.
そうかしら。四季君、もう目覚めないと思うけど。脈拍は平常時の半分。体温は30度あるかないか。意識レベルも睡眠というより昏睡じゃない？これで目が覚めるなら、それこそおかしいんじゃないかしら。
I assume this is related to his connection to death. That like, because of he can see death, he can kind of survive close to death. I think that they've kind of mentioned that before, maybe. Something like that. Sorry to disappoint you. Miss Noel's tone sounds vaguely cold.
それはそうでしょうけど。
そうなんだってば。なんかシエルさんにしては歯切れが悪いのよね。これじゃいつもと立場が逆じゃない？悪い冗談みたい。鬼のかく乱っていうのかな。もしかしてお風邪？使徒のねぐらの調査先生だけで行こうか？
それこそ冗談です。風邪をひくなんてそんな人間らしいことがあるはずがないでしょう。体に異常はありません。調査は私だけで行います。
I just remembered his name was Roa. That's what the other vampire's name was. Such a weird name. Investigating the dead apostles' lair. That job would be theirs originally. I assume that they're talking about Roa. But it could be. It could be. I don't know, it's weird because Mario was there when Roa died. So you'd think that he would investigate it. But my guess is that they are talking about Roa, because then this will be maybe where Shiki learns that Arkwood has already killed. Well, no, that's right though. Arkwood already said that she killed him. Arkwood is the one acting out of turn here, killing dead apostles while being a vampire herself. Actually, it's what her job is, but whatever. Well, sort of. Yes and no, it's weird. But anyway.
先輩、俺、目が覚めてますよ。
I'd just be eavesdropping if I kept lying here, so I forced some air into my lungs and speak.
四季君、本当に大丈夫なの？見た感じ、生きてるだけで精一杯って感じだけど。
ノエル先生、お家の人を呼ぶってお葬式の準備をするみたいなニュアンスで言いませんでした。
で、バレちゃった？冗談がわかるぐらいには覚醒できてるみたいね。どれどれ体温あと、あらま、35度まで回復してる。もしかして本当にただの貧血だった？
そうですよ。これぐらいの貧血には慣れてます。もう少し横になっていれば持ち直しますから、その聴診器は引っ込めてください。心音とか聞かなくていいですから。
お胸の診察はまた今度か？残念だけど、このレベルの貧血が日常というとんでも発言に免じて自重してあげます。これでも先生だものね、私。生徒の健康には気を使わなくっちゃ。でも四季君が無事で安心したわ。地下で助けられたこともあるし、ここで死なれたら悲しいもの。
I thought she was acting though when he saved her.
ね、そうよね、シエルさん。
そうですね。たとえ自業自得だとしても、私たちの前で死なれるのは困ります。今のように話を盗み聞かれるのも面白くありませんが。
Ciel speaks plainly, more blunt than angry. It's different from how she was this morning. I know she's just giving me a hard time, but still, it's a bit harsh to say that I was eavesdropping.
すみません。すぐ倒れる貧弱な体質で、先輩ほど頑丈じゃないんです。
私の体の話はしていません。とにかくしばらくおとなしくしているように。町はまだ危険な状態です。勝手に出歩いて勝手に襲われる人を助けるほど私たちも暇ではありませんから。
あら、四季君なら死者ぐらいは返り討ちにできるんじゃない？というか、先生ひらめいちゃった。
Maybe you should go with Ciel to the vampire hideout.
ねえ、シエルさん。死者探しの仕事、四季君に協力してもらうのはどう？
Wait,
私たち、もう無関係な他人じゃないんだし。
I wonder why she's saying this, because they don't know about his eyes. So they shouldn't know that he can track them down. Or maybe he did explain it. Did he explain his eyes? I mean, maybe if he did, then they didn't comment back to him about it. Miss Noel tosses me a wink. She must be talking about the same thing Arkwood is doing. I would like to make myself useful to them. Have a prior engagement. Obviously, this is the option. Though it makes me wonder what this one even is. Let's see what it is. But let's save it first. Because I really want to know what that one is. Just checking. Wait a second. Hopefully it doesn't take too long.
ありえません。人手は足りています。馬鹿げた発言は控えるように。代行者ノエル。
Oh wait, so they didn't hear what I said? I didn't even get a chance to reply. Ciel sounded dead serious. After coolly reprimanding Miss Noel, she walks over to the door.
私はここで失礼します。ノエル先生は自分の職務に専念してください。遠野くんは二度と吸血鬼に関わらない。これは警告です。破った者には私から相応の処置があると覚悟するように。
怒られちゃった。やっぱり本音出すと怖いわね、あの子。ま、そうでなくちゃ私もやってらんないんだけど。
Ciel has left the nurse's office, but Miss Noel remains seated in her chair. Yes, I can feel my hands and legs again. I take a deep breath and sit up. It's just before 11. I should be able to make it to fourth period. So he was only unconscious for like an hour?
あれ、四季くんもう授業に戻るの？放課後まで休んでいくと思ったのに。
そうしたいところですけど、体が動くなら授業に出ますよ。いつ倒れるかわからないんだし、あんまり休めません。
かわいい顔なのに真面目なんだ。ますますキュンときちゃうかも。先生ね、無理してるくせに平気そうにしている人って昔からタイプなんだ。もちろん男の人限定で。女の場合はまた別の話だから。
So it seems like this is also the Noel route, I guess. I'm just really wondering what's going to happen to her. Miss Noel lowers herself onto an empty bed as she speaks. Is she messing with me or... Nope. She's seriously about to take a nap.
じゃあ、善良な学生生活。しっかりね。先生はもうちょっと休んでいくから。ちょっと風邪気味みたいなのよね。食欲もないしやる気も出ないし。夏バテみたいなものかしら。
She closes the curtains around the bed, whistling cheerfully as she lies down.
俺が言えることじゃないけど、教師がそんな簡単に休んでいいんですか？
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Like, what? How? And she's even the substitute, so it's even weirder.
ほんと、君が言えることじゃないわね。大人だってサボりたい時があるのよ。いいじゃない。自習の一つや二つ。私サンタクロースみたいなもんだし。ちょっと早いけど、子供たちにプレゼントをあげましょう。
Okay. Miss Noel gives me a truly bizarre answer and promptly falls asleep. I'd feel awkward waking her up, and I need to hurry if I'm going to make it to fourth period on time. Just in case, I take some cold medication out of the medicine cabinet and set it on the table before leaving the nurse's office. Wait, what? Why did she do that? Well, he did that like for her or what? I thought he was going to take it for a second, but apparently not. forced period ended. Should I go find Ciel in the tea ceremony room or eat lunch by myself? Either way, I'll have to drop by the school store to buy some food first. Well, on my way to the school store, I spot Ciel cutting across the courtyard. She casually exchanges greetings with some other students as she heads for the school gates. Why is she leaving at lunchtime? Strange. I can't think of a reason why Ciel, who loves the school store, or at least a certain type of bread they stock, would go out for lunch. To kill vampires? Could she be going off to investigate the vampire lair she mentioned in the nurse's office? If that's the case, I can't just ignore this. There are some things I wanted to confirm with her anyway. Arkwood said that she found... what? Which lair? Whatever. Even if Arkwood looks fine on the outside, she's still recovering from her injuries. It'd be embarrassing if I didn't pull my own weight here. Alright, I'm going after Ciel. If I properly plead my case, I don't think she'll just ignore me. Didn't she just say that you have to live with the consequences if you get involved in vampires again? like it's like, I understand that he does it because he's the main character, but from his perspective, what's he thinking? Like, what? I hurry and exit the school gates. Even though Ciel was just walking, I have to run as fast as I can to catch up to her. I don't know why I read that like that. She's there, on the path leading to the station. I recognize her anywhere. Yeah, blue hair. How does she walk so damn fast? She turns down an inconspicuous side alley. Damn, I'll lose her if I don't hurry. I assume she did this on purpose? Maybe not, though. Oh yeah, that's right. We still haven't learned about the other girl. The other little girl. But after running nonstop, my lungs are on fire and I have to stop to catch my breath. Though I managed to chase after her, I lost sight of her the moment I arrived at the area outside the station's south exit. It's just before 1 p.m. This side of the station is mostly office buildings, so it isn't as busy as the north exit. I only see some office workers on their way back to work after lunch. I clutch my chest to calm my pounding heart and take another look around. The station's south side is quite the lovely sight compared to the noise and traffic around the north exit, but I still lost sight of Ciel. I underestimated her, thinking it'd be fine since there was only a little distance between us. She didn't notice me. Rather, I didn't get close enough to call out to her. I don't think she'd purposely hide to throw me off her trail. So that means she literally would hide to throw you off her trail. What are you talking about? She literally said, stay away from vampires. You're stupid.
いえ、こういう場合は追い越しちゃったではなく、待ち伏せされちゃったと言うんですよ、遠野くん。
I wonder how she did that, though. But then again, she also can use magic. But I'm still surprised that she didn't actually try to lose him, though.
いつの間にこんな近くに。さっきまであんなに離れてましたよね。
あんなにとは大げさかつ曖昧ですね。距離にして19メートル弱、ベースボールでいうところのピッチャーからキャッチャーまで離れていたと正しく言ってほしいところです。
That's actually very close. You were so far ahead, like that's like 4 running steps, maybe. depending on the person. And he knows that she's fast. I'm in trouble. Her words are lighthearted, but her eyes are not smiling. That's to be expected. After this morning and what happened in the nurse's office, she's got every right to be annoyed with me telling her. But I didn't chase her all the way here just for shits and giggles. I don't think that's what I don't think that's what the Japanese people said. It's time for me to plead my case.
こんにちは、先輩。こんな時間に外で会うなんて奇遇だね。
ええ、奇遇ですね。 私はこれから電車に乗って隣町まで行くんですが、遠野くんは早退して帰宅ですか？
I want him to just be like, nah, I'm here to hunt vampires with you.
いえ、帰るのは後です。俺も先輩と同じ電車に乗りますから。
おお、5次元目はボイコットですか？
I bite back on the urge to point out that she's also skipping class. Can't afford to open myself up to some snappy comeback.
サボります。今は授業より先輩がどこに行こうとしているのかが知りたいです。
そうですか。
Dead eyes.
保健室で私が言ったことを覚えています
That's
か？
what I'm saying. Like, what? This sounds so weird. Look at the legs. The sound of my own gulping fills my ears. If I give the wrong reply here, she'll officially label me a nuisance. Worst case, she'll send me straight back to the nurse's office.
これが最後です。私の行き先はあなたの想像通り、吸血鬼の調査です。危険ばかりで楽しいことなんてありません。おとなしく学校に戻って。
Is this going to be the deciding answer? I mean, not really, but I mean, we're ready in the Ciel Route, but whatever.
嫌です、そんなの。俺、吸血鬼に関わるなとは言われたけど、先輩に関わるなとは言われてませんから。
You know what's funny? I thought like they might actually give like an answer of I love you or I want to stop the vampires or I need to do something or something. And yeah, it's kind of a love confession, sorta. My back goes ramrod straight as I look into her eyes. Although I said it without thinking, now that it's out there, I refuse to take it back. I care more about Ciel than I do about this vampire situation. There's something about the thought of her doing this all alone that I just can't stand.
私に関わるということは、吸血鬼に関わるということです。今のは詭弁に過ぎません。
それはずるい。学校の先輩であるシエル先輩と教会のシエル先輩は別枠でしょ。そうじゃなかったら先輩は俺の教室に来てないでしょ。
Yeah, what's the explanation on
教室に
this?
吸血鬼はいないんだし。
Like, it's technically to blend in, but like, she doesn't need to go to the school. Especially if she's just gonna drop school like this anyway.
それは、そうですが。
俺は学校の先輩の手伝いがしたいだけです。下心で動いているんです。なのに、それが吸血鬼退治なんて話になってるんで、ほんと迷惑してるだけです。先輩がもっと普通の悩みとか持っていてくれたら、こんな苦労はしていません。
High time I just lay out all the cards. I know how desperate I must sound, but if I don't try every move I've got now, Ciel will definitely go alone. Like, I'd let myself get sent back to the nurse's office. I've come this far. Come hell or high water, I'm following Ciel.
確かに学校の私と代行者の私は違う立場と考えるべきでしたね。一緒にしてしまったら明日から学校には行けなくなります。まったく、これだから遠野くんは怖いです。窮地になると急所をついてくるんですから。
Somewhat exasperated, Ciel sighs helplessly. In other words, this means...
一緒に行っていいってことですか、先輩。
はい。遠野くんに見つかってしまった私の落ち度ということで、今日だけは特別です。ついてくるだけなら多めに見ます。無鉄砲な後輩に吸血鬼のねぐらがどんなものか知ってもらうのもマイナスではありませんし。
I wonder what that's supposed to mean. But again, we already know that the vampire's dead. So there's that. But it's weird to say that because like I think we saw Vlov's lair, and I assume that this is Roa's lair. I must have gone through to her because her usual smile has returned. All's right in the world. Also, again, right there where he says senpai, but then it gets English translated to Ciel, and it's like, yes, that's technically the same thing, but like, I mean, I guess it is like the one that makes the most sense. Otherwise, you would say upperclassmen, which is like, that's kind of weird. or like senior, which is like, I think it is accurate to say that he's saying senior, like you're my senior, you know. But it is definitely weird. I mean, it does happen in the United States in some circumstances, but it's crazy subservient compared to, well, I mean, it's subservient in Japanese culture. It's just different culture.
ただし、その前に反省してもらわなければいけません。あなたがどれほどどしがたい失敗をしたのか分かっていますか？
What's that mean?
失敗ですか？
Could she be talking about last night when I was with Arkwood? If she brings that up, I'd have no way to explain myself, but
先ほどの尾行、あれはひどいです。
I assumed that was what she was talking about. But like, he was barely keeping up anyway.
足音も気配もダダ漏れで見つけてくださいと言っているようなものでした。私だったから良かったものの、ノエル先生や死者相手にあんなことをしたら翌朝には路地裏で目を覚ますことになりますから、今後は注意するように。
Just tell her like, I was barely keeping up. I was so tired. She's angry at me over my lack of stalking skills. It seems she's more upset about my clumsy attempt at tailing her than anything. I mean, it's not clumsy. She literally was walking fast. I get the idea she intended to shake me, but got so frustrated with my lack of subtlety that she had to stop and say something. Well, yeah, because like, well, I don't know. I mean, she still could have went into the train, but I don't know. It's weird. She intended to shake him, but like, she could have went faster. It's a little too late to claim I wasn't actually trying to tell her in secret or anything. Yet you already admitted it.
そうですね。次からは善処します。
Next time. I answer her with a strained laugh. She can be harsh at times, but deep down, Ciel is a very caring person. Okay, we're gonna take a halftime break. I feel like that's halfway through the day, if it's not even nighttime yet. Okay. Intermission. We'll be right back. Okay. Took a bit longer than I was expecting. um, I think I'm just getting tired. But anyway, we will finish this day. We ride the train for 2 stops at Ushizuka Station. From the station, we catch a bus and ride it for about 20 minutes. And when we get off at the nearest bus stop, it's another 20 minutes on foot to our destination. It was a bit of a walk from the residential area to the center of the industrial district, but we finally arrive at a building cloaked in the lingering presence of death. Okay, so, I mean, this place looks familiar. Maybe she, like, dealt with this one in the other route. Way earlier, maybe? That's my guess. Because she was, like, you know, she had time to do other stuff because she didn't fight Vlav in the other route.
先輩、ここは
But then this is just a random vampire, right?
使徒のねぐらですよ。いえ、でしたと言うべきですね。
Oh?
以前に処理した人から手に入れた情報でしたが、完全に放棄されているようです。
But when they see, this is why I get confused, because when they say dead apostle, I always like to think they're talking about one of the high echelons of dead apostles, but apparently they just mean it could be a dead apostle that's level 3, level 8, who knows? I don't know why they do it that way, but that's the way they do it. I guess they don't, well, I mean, I guess she didn't call it an ancestor, because if it was an ancestor, then it'd be the highest one, so we know it's not Vlav or Roas, but I mean, we already knew this wasn't Vlav or Roas, so. An abandoned nest. In the end, the lead led us nowhere. This place has seen better days. It's an utter ruin, unfit for strays, let alone dead apostles. Why? But also, how could she tell already that there's no dead apostles inside? Though not far from town, it lingers here neglected and forgotten. It must have been quite a large hospital before it got closed down. Like, Shiki's like, oh man, this place looks run down. Yeah, vampires totally wouldn't want to live here. It's like, what? I can see how spacious it is even from outside the gates. Weeds have taken root in the cracks of the asphalt. One of the wards is so damaged it's falling apart. Maybe there was a fire. If there was, the difference between the damaged and undamaged areas is a little too extreme.
念のため、中に入って汚染状況を確認します。
Ciel doesn't bother asking if I'm coming along. Perhaps this is her way of telling me that this is my own choice, and that she's not forcing me into this. I simply nod and follow after her. We trample the weeds as we make our way into the abandoned hospital grounds. Is this gonna even be anything? Yeah, I was gonna say, there's no way they made an indoors for this. The sky is so high here. What? The sky is so high here? There are no tall buildings on the horizon, allowing the blue expanse to stretch into infinity. I was under the impression, though, that... Well, he said that he traveled from a different city to get to school there. So you would think that he's used to the country. It's so bright and vivid, it makes my eyes hurt.
吸血鬼の汚れは微弱に残っていますが、今は何の害もありませんね。この規模の病院ですから、廃墟になる前は大きな拠点だったとは思いますが。
Okay.
あの地下墓地みたいなですか？
ええ、病院は使徒にとって利用しやすく、また価値のある施設です。個人資産によるものならなおさらですね。
Well, yeah, I mean, when there's people here, I guess. Obviously. We enter the ruins of the hospital building. Ciel goes through, meticulously examines each room. I think she already knows that there is nothing here. Well, she was making sure there's no evidence of blood or whatever. Even though she painstakingly checks if there's anything out of the ordinary. It's the exact opposite of Arkwood's careless methods.
先輩、ちょっと話をしていいですか？
いいですよ。それぐらいは覚悟していましたから。邪魔をしない程度ならどうぞ。
じゃあ遠慮なく。吸血鬼は2種類いて、先輩たちがやっつけてるのは使徒の方ですよね。先輩たちが追っていた使徒、この町に居ついた使徒はどんなやつだったんですか？
What does he mean there's two types of vampires? What did he think the two types of vampires are? What? Or does he mean like dead apostles and ancestors? But it's weird if that's what he means, because he already knows. Well, maybe he doesn't know that Arkwood is the only ancestor. Maybe.
詳しくは話せませんが、典型的な使徒ですよ。少しずつ町に浸透していき、勢力を伸ばしていくタイプです。グローブ・アルハンギリほど直接的な脅威ではありません。
I see. So Vlav wasn't the church's target either. Vlav was more like an unexpected visitor. But Arkwood and Ciel both came to this town in pursuit of the same vampire who made its nest here however many years ago.
そうですか。そいつの名前は
Here it is. She stays still for a moment. After she finishes investigating the last abandoned room, she sighs in defeat and answers me.
ロア、ミハイル・ロア・バルダムよ。
Mihail. I guess this is how you say it in like Italian? Or is it Latin maybe? Mihail Rola Vaudamjong. Vaudamjong. I mean, it's weird because Vaudamjong sounds Chinese, so I was like, what?
人間だった頃は教会の司祭だったと聞いています。
Right, yep. The name of her enemy. Roa, the same name Arkwood gave me. It's a vampire that reincarnates at will or something. Or something. I still don't really understand what that means exactly. What? And Ciel isn't giving me any more ask her. We continue to search the abandoned hospital. We checked everything on the first and second floor. Start going up the stairs, break silence. It's more like she's talking to herself, though.
例えばの話です。ある日、自分が突然ホラー映画の主役になっていて、何の説明もなく悪役だと知らされて、開始1分から散々暴れて、登場人物たちをみんな殺してしまったとします。1時間半、もうノンストップで。殺害人数は4桁を軽くオーバーです。
じゃあこの状況でホラー映画の話とかもどかしくはなしですよ先輩。
例え話ですから最後まで聞いてください。遠野くんはたまたま気まぐれで映画館によってその映画を見たとします。誰かが主役のそのホラー映画を映画のエンドロールから抜け出してきたばかりの血まみれの誰かが。彼は言います。はじめまして誰かさん。映画の世界からやってきたものです。ああ、でも安心して。怖がらないで。私は台本通りに殺人鬼を演じただけ。それがまさか終わった後に映画から追い出されるとは思ってもいなかった。あなたは彼をどう思いますか？脚本通りなら仕方がないと歓迎するか？
No, you wouldn't believe him.
フィクションであろうと悪役は悪役だと糾弾するか？
I don't know what she means by lay into them. It's just like, clearly you were born to be a villain.
それとも映画の中に戻れと非難するか？
Yeah, go back inside the movie.
この場合、どれが人間として正しいのでしょう？
I don't have an answer. Hypothetical or not, her story came out of nowhere. It's so chilling that I couldn't even begin to come up with a response.
先輩。
Confused about her intentions, I call out to her cold, distant figure. She lets out a short, self-derisive chuckle and turns around. It's just a joke.
なんて、ちょっとした退屈しのぎでした。突然遠野くんに意地悪したくなったのです。昨夜そういう内容のホラー映画を借りてしまって、あんまりにも真に迫っていたので、遠野くんにもホラーを分けてあげようかなと。
そうですか。突然意地が悪くなったことはどうかと思いますけど、その映画自体は面白そうですね。二重構造でよくできています。 タイトルを教えてくれれば俺も借りてみますよ。
ええ、この事件が片付いたらぜひ。
At some point during our conversation, our investigation reached its end. We arrive at the last remaining staircase on the 3rd floor. The ceiling is collapsed here, granting us a clear view of the blue sky outside. This is...
おっと、この部屋で最後ですね。残念。いえ、幸いなことに使徒の痕跡はなし。今回は完全に外れでした。
Ciel's voice seems a little more cheerful than it was earlier. Now that our investigation is over and she has deemed this place safe, she probably no longer needs to be as cautious as before. I think we should go back if we're done. Think I'd like to go back if we're done. Think we can go back if we're done. What? These are all the same exact thing. We can go back. Whatever.
なら戻りましょう先輩。さすがに疲れました。昼間とはいえ廃病院っていうのも気持ちが悪いし。
おや、あの地下広場でも音を上げなかった遠野くんらしくありませんね。
That's because you could see the evil, but here the evil is like ambient and uncertain.
あそこまでぶっ飛んでるともう驚きしかないんです。一方廃病院は立派な都市階段ですから短すぎてこっちの方が怖いです。
なるほど、そういうことなら夜についてきてもらえばよかったですね。遠野くんの怖がる顔見るチャンスだったのに。
Ciel casually says something unbelievably scary again. I guess she's not done teasing me yet. But at least we're done with this place. Ciel agreed to my proposition, so we quickly leave the hospital. I thought the same thing when we first arrived, but the sky is really vast and beautiful here. Weird. It's just past 3 p.m. when we get back to Soya Station. We've missed all of the afternoon classes. Even if we went back now, school would already be out. Though I should at least go back to grab my bag. Well, that was embarrassing. My stomach loudly announces its discontent over me skipping lunch.
ふむ。空腹ですか、遠野くん。
恥ずかしながら購買部に行く途中で先輩を見かけたから昼抜きなんです。
ご飯食べていきます？ちょうどこの辺りにいいお店があるんですよ。
I freeze up at the unexpected turn of luck. Going to a restaurant means I get to eat out with Ciel. Nice. Even if this is a trap, I'll happily fall for it. God, I'd love to, but like, what the heck is this? What is this dialogue? Like, completely out of nowhere. It's just so weird.
いえ、あまりお腹は減ってませんから。
That's a lie. I had a big appetite yesterday, and today is no different. But sadly, I don't have the money to go dining out this month. Ciel even said it's a good place, so it'll probably be eye-poppingly expensive. Not really. Probably like $20 maybe. Probably less. As heartbreaking as it is, the manly thing to do would be to decline.
まあまあそう言わずに、一食ぐらいでしたらおごっちゃいますから。先輩らしく手伝ってくれた後輩へのお礼をさせてください。
Ciel managed to see right through me. This is as far as my act goes. There's no way I can refuse when she smiles like that. I don't know if she did see through him. I feel like she didn't.
すみません。実はお腹が減って倒れそうでした。お願いですから、その素敵なお店に連れて行ってください。
Maybe he means that he saw through her, as in when he said he's not hungry or he doesn't need to eat. Like he saw through her, or she saw through him that way, but not she was able to somehow realize that you couldn't afford to eat. I don't think she figured out that one. I prostrate myself before Ciel.
はい、素直な返事で大変結構です。それでは可愛い後輩のため張り切って一肌脱ぎましょう。
She leads me towards the shopping district with a skip in her step. Is she that happy I asked her to treat me? The area is crowded with a bunch of small eateries. Perhaps it's one of those well-hidden 3-star restaurants. No, it's gonna be a buffet. Yep, Chinese buffet. Okay, we're at a curry shop. No, let me correct myself. We're at an authentic Indian curry shop. It's bleeding authenticity no matter where you look.
おっと残念。ランチタイムは終わってしまいましたか。スパイシーチキンはつきませんね。
Ciel looks genuinely disappointed. Wait, is this a thing with the church officials liking spicy food? There's another guy in Fate's Day Night who ends up liking spicy food, which is like, it's just completely unrelated, I guess. I don't know.
はい、どうぞ遠野くん。
Ciel hands me a rewards card. It is fully stamped and written in bold lettering is the prize for a full card. Amazing! A free curry meal. Okay. I see what she's getting at, but I make sure to confirm with her just in case.
カレーセット無料券です。どうぞ好きなセットを頼んでください。私のおすすめはバターチキンカレーです。辛ければいいというものでもありませんし、遠野くんは初心者ですし。
And this is actually what I was a little confused about before, because they've already implied that she's also poor. That's why I think that's why she gets really excited about the cheap curry bread at school. I think. But it's weird, like, why are they paid so little? That's pretty, I don't know. I wonder what they're paying for, if, especially like they're in Japan, so like if they had to pay for rent or whatever, or, you know, a hotel room, it'd be the cheapest in the world, just about. Or something like that. I mean, maybe not the cheapest, but, you know, very affordable. I nod and give the server my order for the butter chicken curry meal, pretending not to see Ciel's finger automatically gravitate to a meal marked in the menu as level 10 in spiciness. But to my surprise, she only orders chai. She doesn't have money. We've come all the way to a curry place on her recommendation, so it'd be weird if she didn't get a serving of her favorite food. How? When? In other words, she's practicing self-restraint and considering what a healthy caloric intake would entail for a girl her age. Not questioning how she already ate 3 meals when she hasn't eaten in the last 3 hours. Or 4 hours even. The butter chicken curry is delicious. Perhaps it's because of the butter, but the curry sauce is the perfect blend of sweet and spicy. The naan is warm and soft, and my taste buds are overwhelmed by flavor with each bite. This place is incredible. Curry shop Messian. I'll remember the name. I gotta tell Arihiko about this place. However, as good as it tastes, it's a little nerve-wracking eating in front of Ciel. She's staring at my food without even blinking. I feel like a yoga trainee sitting on a bed of nails. I can't savor the sauce. I just scooped up in my spoon like this. I lightheartedly turn my spoon towards her to test the waters. I'll happily split some of the curry onto a plate of her own if she'll have some. And she just takes a bite from the spoon, yep. Because she's so desperate. Like a happy kid, Ciel opens her mouth and gives my spoon a little nom. It all happened so fast I didn't have the time to react. Yeah. And what a big catch it turned out to be. Ciel's shoulders tense up in embarrassment. I'm just glad I got to see such an amazingly cute side of her, so there's no need for her to apologize.
失礼しました。小皿に分けるなんて全くの想定外だったので。
先輩の中でどんだけ心が狭いんですか、俺は。はい、どうぞ。何も一枚食べてください。
This reminds me though that Shiki still doesn't have a allowance. I suppose the allowance talk hasn't happened yet, but it's still a little weird that that he doesn't have an allowance. I guess theoretically, no. How is he supposed to have a lunch though? You would think that Hisui or Kohaku would make him a lunch to take to school. That is a little weird now that I think about it. And how's he supposed to have money for lunch? That's weird. He never asked though. I split the sauce between our plates and go back to eating my portion.
遠慮しないで食べてください。もともと先輩の日々の努力の成果なんですから。間食については考えない方向で。
はあ、そういうことではないのですが。
Ciel sheepishly takes a spoonful of curry. And then she makes that face. Seeing her face like she found heaven in a single bite makes me want to order seconds. If I can see her smile like that, I could keep eating curry forever. Honestly, I bet this place is less than $20 though. We've finished our meal. I wonder if the owner prides himself on taking good care of the regulars. We were treated to some complimentary tea, so we're sticking around to relax a little. We talk idly about school for a while, but then Ciel straightens up.
いい機会だから聞かせてください。どうして遠野くんはこの事件に関わるんですか?
Oh yeah, see, he hasn't explained anything about Arcuid or his eyes, right? So why did they think that he could actually track vampires, or what were they saying it out of whatever? I wonder what she means when she says that. Like, do you not feel fear because you possess some strange weapon? Like, is she saying that because it's like an actual question or because it's a rhetorical question? She gets straight to the point.
いえ、怖いですよ。銃を持てば戦争は怖くなくなるなんて話は聞いたこともないし。
I mean, I think it would be less scary than being unarmed, but okay.
自分にどんな武器があっても怖いものは怖いです。逃げられるものなら逃げてしまいたい。
There's no point even trying to sugarcoat this. As someone who can see death, I think I'm actually more cowardly than most.
本当は逃げたいんですね。でも、ならどうして？
どうしてって、そんなの。
To maintain the peace in this town, to give solace to the souls of the victims, to protect the people close to me. Just say all that. Those words flash across my mind, but they're only secondary. The real reason I can't run away is because I still remember what I saw that night. I assume it's Arcuid. What about before that night, then? I say what's on my mind in a tone filled with respect and appreciation. Yeah, but what about before this night? That night, trapped within the inescapable extreme cold, Ciel fought all alone, not for herself, but to protect the lives of the people she didn't even know. Unlike me, who was just trying to save his own ass, she gave everything. She threw herself onto the front lines to protect all those behind her. I mean, you did too, man! You didn't need to jump in to help her! That's right, the reason why I keep thinking of that moment, even when I'm falling asleep, is because it was so noble. I was both captivated by Ciel's actions and struck by the tragic heroism of it to a degree that I couldn't help but tear up. That's why I'll always remember that. Even if I'm nowhere near as strong as she is, even if she will receive no gratitude from the people she saved, at least I'll remain to remember her sacrifice. That way, at the very least, even if it's just me, someone will be there to thank her.
私が頑張っているからですか？
はい。一 人知れず戦ってくれている人がいるんだから、こっちだって簡単には逃げ出せません。というかそもそも
I was saved by that very someone. This music is a lot different than normal. I probably wouldn't be here if Ciel hadn't offered me her hand on the day when I killed Arkwood. Yeah.
先輩がブローブを倒してくれなかったらみんな死んでいたんだし、俺がやってることは単に先輩への恩返しみたいなものです。
Wait a second. Just wondering about the sound. Oops, not what I meant to do. Oh. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I was just thinking, like, the music's a little low, actually. I know it's supposed to be, like, really high, but, like, I don't want it that high. I think that all looks fine. In the end, the truth is too embarrassing for me to say out loud. Still, I think my feelings of gratitude have reached her.
でも先輩の足手まといになってるのは変わりませんね。相手はもう死んでいる。相入れない敵だって分かっているのに割り切れない。
The fact they look and act like humans continues to put a damper on my resolve. Vampires or not, I have to overcome my inner conflict.
怖い怖い言ってられませんね。先輩の役に立ちたいんならもっと強い心を持たないと。
いえ、それを直すなんてとんでもない。それは良くない勘違いです。
先輩？
失礼しました。でもそこはぜひそのままで。弱くても私はそんな遠野くんがいいです。いちいち迷ってしまう人だから私も守りたいと思うんです。
Dang, I'm not sure if I'm more embarrassed or happy, but either way, I can't look at her in the eye right now. Likewise, Ciel doesn't seem to be able to meet my eye either. She's covering it up by idly tapping her teaspoon. 5 minutes passed just like that. The tea has gone cold. We can't stay like this, so I push myself to find something to talk about.
そうだ先輩。先輩はすごく強いけど格闘技とかやってるんですか？ほら、武器もいっぱい持ってたし。
Does she? I thought she only has like 2 guns. I forget what else. Damn it, what am I saying?
格闘技とは言えませんが、基本的なサバイバル技術は教え込まれました。あとは対吸血鬼専門の対処法をいくつか習得したぐらいです。極拳も結界も、奇跡もそれなりに使えると思います。
Why does she say to an extent? I've literally never, like, I've seen the future of the Fate franchise, and I've never seen somebody use her abilities ever. Like, what? Who's more proficient at this than you? Like, what the heck? Though, yeah, I forgot about the black keys, which are the throwing swords. And, I guess Bounded Fields and Sacraments count too. They're just magic, but yeah, sure. Yeah, I guess I didn't think about that. Although I thought he meant actual weapons.
そうなんだ。俺は見ることしかできないけど、先輩はやっぱりいろいろできるんだね。
All I can do is see the boundaries between life and death and cut between dimensions to forever sever life and death. You're amazing by comparison. I laugh to forcibly cover up my foolishness. But, for some reason it seems the mood has shifted.
見るだけですか。
See?
私もまだ詳しい説明を聞いてはいませんでした。遠野くんはグローブの腕を切断していましたが。
This is what I'm talking about. They never explained.
ものなんでしょう。
They never explained it. That's why I was like, what the heck is happening? Why are they acting as if they've heard some portion of how he does stuff? See, it's not like they thought that. What the heck were they thinking? What the heck were they thinking? Because he's like, oh, do you not feel fear because you have a weapon that can kill vampires? And it's like, wait, do you even know what this weapon is? You know, because it didn't sound like she was talking about the eyes. Like maybe she just thought he had a special knife or like a special magic enchantment. But then, like, yeah, she never asked how he did what he did. So yeah, what?
どういったものって。
Oh boy. It'd be easier to demonstrate, but I don't want to take off my glasses and see Ciel covered in those awful lines. But one way or another, I managed to put my abilities and the lines I see into simpler terms.
直視の魔眼、死の概念を捉える魔眼なんて。
Oh yeah, that's right. I suppose Arkwood already used this explanation.
そんなに珍しいんですか。先輩の方が何倍もすごかったけど。
Technically, no. Like, he has the strongest weapon on the planet. It's just that Ciel has less powerful weapons, but has extremely good training and whatever the heck is going on with her body.
珍しいとか強いとかそういった次元の話ではありません。これは魔術と魔法の関係に近いです。
I mean, yes, but also Mystic Eye, they are still called Mystic Eyes of Death Perception. They are still a type of Mystic Eyes. Even if they are the strongest Mystic Eyes by far, the second strongest, third, fourth, fifth strongest Mystic Eyes are still insane. Like yes, these might still be stronger, but like those other Mystic Eyes would be like, yeah, I can look at something and create a black hole, or yeah, I can look at somebody and they just can't move. Probably can have some eyes that look at somebody and they just explode, honestly. Like yes, technically these eyes are stronger in a sense, but for practical use, I feel like the other eyes, you know, you can turn them off and on. These eyes, normally people die after like 20 years, I think is what they've said. Something like that.
私の国権や武装は言ってしまえば確かに超常のものではあるが、今の技術でも到達できる物理現象です。戦闘機や空母を個人で保有できる人物とそう大差はありません。
I always hate mages in this universe. And by extension, priests. Because they're like, a holy grail is nothing special. It's just a lot of magic. And then you can recreate anything that already exists with that. But that's all. It can't create something unique that you can't imagine. And it's like really weird to say that because it's like, sure, but you can also create like a galaxy. If you can like imagine how the process works, you can do it. So it's like really, really weird to say that. It's like an infinite energy reactor that can make anything. But it can only make something that you can understand. And it's like, okay, I guess. But same thing here, like, well, this gun has the power of a fighter jet, but that's nothing special. And it's like, you literally have a fighter jet that you can hold in your hand. That's beyond imagination, man. Like, what are you talking about? like having a fighter jet, instead of being a full jet, be in your hand. It's just such a difference. Like, that's so weird. And this is only like recent though. Remember, like, more than likely these weapons, you know, 200 years ago didn't have an equivalent. You know, they didn't have, you know, like, again, they didn't have a fighter jet, so you didn't have something that was kind of similar. But it's also weird the way she describes, like, she's acting as if you had fighter jets, you could have killed Vlav with them. Because the fighter jets are so strong, even though I think these are magical. Like, actually, like, even if they are just fighter jets, wouldn't they still, like, explode? You know, you shoot a missile and then it explodes and, like, magical energy was in it, right? Like, it's not just normal bombs or normal bullets that you're firing, right?
一方あなたの魔眼はどうあっても今の技術では到達できない現象です。死に向かうのではなく死を形にするなんてそれこそ人の手に余ります。
It's called a mystic eyes. Like, well, you see, with drugs, you could make somebody paralyzed. And it's like, yeah, but like you're literally looking at somebody and they get paralyzed just from you looking at them. That's not, that's really different.
厳密に言えば人間はまだ死を知らない。まだ誰も見ていないものをあなたは見ているようなものです。
This would be true if not for the fact that apparently these eyes are hereditary, I believe. What a strange way to put that. Surely humans know what death is by now. Death is all around us.
人間は誰だって死にます。みんな生きているうちは経験こそしないけど、死はやってくるんじゃないんですか。
Oh my gosh, this is so loud right now. This is so loud right now. Feels like he's like whispering compared to the... wait a second. We'll try that.
それは生命活動の停止に過ぎません。人間という装置が活動できなくなっただけの結果を私たちは死と呼んでいるだけです。人間が死んでも失われるものは何もありません。ミクロの視点で見れば素粒子は失われていませんし、マクロの視点で見ても個人が死んだところで星に損失はありませんから。でもあなたの目が見ているものは違います。過程を飛ばして物事を終わらせるのなら、それはエネルギー保存則に頼らない究極の意味での死です。ある司祭からの受け売りですが、死とはこの宇宙に未だないもの。あると想定することで多くの事象を説明できるけれど、実在してはいけないものとされています。
That's true. Only because the afterlife has never been explained in this series. Not really. I nod solemnly at her explanation. Ciel stares at me sternly.
ごめんなさい。全然わかりません。もう少しレベルを下げて教えてください。
つまり空想上のものです。ファンタジーですね。ありきたりのものどころかどこにもないものってことです。まあレアケースなのは確かですが、神話にはそういった魔眼の伝承があるので、過去に何人かのホルダーはいたんでしょうけど。
I mean, is that really true though? I mean, yes, there were people who had these eyes, but I'm just thinking about King Hassan from Fate Grand Order. Like he's from, I don't know, like 1000 BC maybe. And I guess maybe there's gods who had the eyes, maybe, probably. But like, you know, like, I don't know. It's very few people. Very, very few.
でもその目ならグローブを切断したのもうなずけますね。てっきりあのナイフが特別なものだと勘違いしていました。
Yeah, see, yeah. Which, it's even weirder. Like, if that knife was so special it could do that, shouldn't she be asking even more questions? Like, yes, anybody could have a knife that heavily damages vampires and could cut off their arms, but Shiki never said he was a mage. Why would he have this weapon? Does he, you know, how often does he kill vampires? This never came up, so like, what?
それでその目は遺伝ですか？遠野くんのお父様もそういった目を持っていたとか。
She already is getting to the point.
いえ、違いますよ。親父は普通というか、うちにこんな目を持ったやつはいません。
Yeah, this is wrong.
異常なのは俺だけです。子 事故に遭ったって言いましたよね。その後遺症なんです。
I don't think this is right because we already know earlier generations dying young. She's like, I doubt it.
生まれついてのものではない。
That is weird, though. I don't think that's ever been explained. Because Mystic Guys, you're born with them, period. But in his case, they awakened. Well, no. Okay, he was born with them, but a traumatic event awakened them. Something like that.
はい。線が見えるようになったのは7年前からですし。
Ciel takes a long, hard look at me, then gets up from the table with a deep sigh.
私、勘違いをしていたっぽいです。調べ物ができたので、今日はこれで。
Yeah, it's almost like you shouldn't make assumptions. Just ask questions and solve things. But yeah, I mean, we don't know what she's thinking in terms of Vlav and his relation to Shiki and the mystic eyes of death. I mean, I am kind of wondering, like, could Vlav come back to life? But, like, I don't think so. Like, not soon. I mean, not in this story. They were already saying it would take a long time. And it's like, well, is there, like, an exception here? But, like, I don't think so. She's gone. She takes the bill, pays at the register, leaves before I can stop her. Wait, what do you mean takes the bill? Okay, whatever. I guess she did buy, like, a drink. Or so I thought. She comes rushing back.
大切なことを言い忘れてました。遠野くん、ちょっと立ってください。
I stand up like she asked me to. Ciel carefully looks me up and down.
私はこれで帰りますが、くれぐれも夜は出歩かないように。その目があるからって、一人で吸血鬼を探したりしちゃダメですからね。
Wait, why is she saying by herself? Taken aback, I stutter without thinking. Don't go out at night, but that would mean breaking my promise to Arkwood.
遠野くん、
あ、いや、わかった。わかりました。一人で吸血鬼探しなんてしない。
Yep.
よかった。
Why did she say that?
約束ですよ。
Why'd she say it like that? She knows that we're with Arkwood. Like, so weird. Why would she say that? Satisfied, Ciel smiles and makes to leave, this time for real.
あ、待って先輩。その今ので一つ気になることを思い出しちゃって。吸血鬼って不死身なんですよね。なら風邪とかもひきませんか？
Okay.
ありえませんね。呪いならともかく、人間でいう風邪をひくなんてナンセンスです。死者に免疫機能はありませんから。
だよな。なら神祖ってやつも同じ。
Mm-hmm.
神祖に至ってはありえないというより、あってはならないです。彼らの免疫機能を活発化させるウイルスなんて、下手したら人類絶滅クラスです。
That's true. But also really funny that she says that. Because she's like, okay, the undead are dead, so dead things can't get diseases, sure. But the ancestors are like so far above. They're just the superior, completely superior to human race. So if they got sick, then yeah, it would be stronger than the human race.
ところで、なんでそんな話を？
あ、いや、なんでもないのです。
No reason.
それじゃあ先輩、また明日学校で。
Continuing this discussion would only cause more trouble, so I wave goodbye to Ciel.
また明日。はい、また明日ですね。それではごきげんよう、遠野くん。
Ciel leaves so quickly I can all but hear the wind swirling in her wake. Well then, a lot has happened, but for now I have to go back to school. Alright, I've got to grab my bag and get to the mansion before the sun sets. Yeah, will he have enough time? Honestly, he could just leave the bag there and then just go there in the morning. The bag will still be there. Oh wow, he just got there really easy. Okay. Wow, this is going real fast. Like, really throwing me off how fast we're going here. But I guess, like, you know, uneventful, right? But still, like, really? That fast?
あらかじめ言っておくと、俺は嘘は言っている。
Yeah, we know. Oh, wow. Sorry, I did not see that somebody actually talked in chat. Yeah, I know. He was yeah, Shiki hates the hospital because, you know, when he was in the hospital. But I mean, I thought like there was something more specific than just he hates the hospital because of he was in the hospital when he was a kid. I thought there was like a little more to it, but but yeah. Anyway, that was. I think that guy chatted. What? That's so weird. Like on one of my chats, I see him here, but then on the Twitch chat, it doesn't show him at all. Wait a second. I don't think it's gonna show up just because I reload. But yeah, I got really. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, that was at. Oh, okay, it was like half an hour ago. Yeah, when I was in the hospital. Oh well. It happens. Yeah, well, why did that happen? That's so weird. Like, I have the stream on my computer, so you would think I'd see it, but for some reason it didn't go through. Anyway, yeah, he's gone. He's long gone. Okay, technically I didn't lie.
吸血鬼探しはしているが、一人ではないのである。
And I mean, I get really absorbed when I'm reading, obviously, which I'm reading kind of constantly. The park is dark and deserted. My flimsy excuse aimed at no one in particular disappears into the night.
何か言ったシキ？
いや、別に。アルクエイドには関係のないことだ。気にしないでくれ。
Besides, as far as promises go, I made a promise to Arquid first. I silently make a sincere apology to Ciel. My only defense is to argue that these are two separate matters. I mean, they were, kind of.
吸血鬼探しを始めよう。今夜はどこに行くんだ？
今夜は特に当たりをつけている場所はないわ。街を歩いて死者を見つけるぐらい。あなたの目なら生きている人間と死んでいる人間、一目で判別がつくから。ちょっときついだろうけど、できる？シキ。
Arkwid is telling me to take my glasses off and walk around town. I get nauseous when I take my glasses off even when there's no one around, so it'll be all the worse in the crowded city center. But all I can say in response to that face is, leave it to me.
もちろん。協力するって、そういうことだろう。
ええ、頼りにしてるわ、パートナーさん。
I'm surprised that she said partner in English.
でも本当に辛くなったらすぐに休んでね。あなたの目は特別だから大切に扱わないと。
See, why is she saying it like that? At Arkwid's command, we march towards the bustling downtown area. I feel a strange surge in motivation as I resolve to take off my glasses. First up is the shopping district. We need to find and eliminate as many vampires as we can. And then he sees none, right? I assume. But in spite of my eagerness, we come up empty-handed. We go from the shopping district to the back alleys to the office district, then all the way to an abandoned factory without finding a single vampire. Everyone must be on high alert after hearing about Roa's death. Afraid of Arkwid, they are holed up in their rooms, wherever those might be. We won't be able to find them like this. But they can't stay hidden forever. If they don't eat, they'll turn back into corpses. One way or another, they'll have to take a risk if they want to survive. Will they come out of hiding first, or will we let up on the hunt first? This waiting game will likely continue for some time. It's kind of anticlimactic, but it's better than there being more victims. And more than anything, this means I get to spend more time walking around town with Arkwid.
今夜は完全に無駄惚れだったな。緊張して損した。
I sit down on the bench and wait for my lingering headache to pass. The night air is cold. It feels like every breath I take freezes the toxins that are making my head pound. My dizziness and nausea slowly start to subside.
そうね。でも私は楽しかったわ。シキは相変わらず文句ばっかりだったけど、無駄なことがこんなに面白いなんて知らなかった。
Are we like glazing over the Arkwood moments here. Definitely feels like that's the case. Like they're like, well, yeah, you already did this route. We don't have to go more in detail on this type of thing. But are we supposed to assume that Arkwood is acting the exact same way that she did in the first route? I don't know.
その点は空気を読んだ人たちに感謝ね。お礼に出会った時は容赦なく粉々にしてあげる。
Despite that disturbing declaration, Arkwood is in a good mood. She's spinning around in circles in front of me as I rest on the bench. What's up with her? She's like a kid who just stepped outside for the first time in her life. Or a prisoner who's finally gotten a taste of freedom after being locked away for years.
まあ、元気なことはいいことだけど。
While my mouth spouts off a sarcastic remark, my eyes can't help but follow Arkwood's form. I guess I can't deny it any longer. I care deeply for Ciel, but I am completely smitten by Arkwood. Okay. I guess that's the thing, though. In the first route, Ciel wasn't even a possibility. Just as I feel drawn to Ciel, I feel drawn to her. I was obligated at first because I had killed her, but that excuse no longer applied. What a fool I am. Although I want to be useful to Ciel, I'm infatuated with her mortal enemy, a vampire. There must be something wrong with me. Logically, I know that I should keep my distance from Arkwood, but this primal urge pulls me towards her otherworldly beauty. Once, I even went so far as to give in to my lust and ruthlessly committed an unforgivable act. I shake my head to clear away the lingering images. The nausea's back, but that made me feel like myself again. It reminded me that I'm not worthy of spending time with Arkwood like this.
アルクエド、元気そうだけど体の調子はどうなんだ？お前、昨日くしゃみしていただろ。風邪とかひいてないか？
Oh, I don't remember her sneezing.
風邪？免疫機能の低下による発熱のこと？そんなの引いてないの？ねえ、どうしてそんなことを聞くの？もしかして私のことを心配してくれてる？
Arkwood bends over to look me in the eye.
別にそんなんじゃない。俺がやっちまった傷がちゃんと治ってるのか気になっただけだ。
She's so close I feel drunk on her scent. I look away, self-conscious about lying to her.
式につけられた傷はそう簡単には完治しないわ。昨日のはそれとは別。多分身体機能を変えていたからじゃない？戦う時以外はあなたに合わせて人間寄りにしているから。
What's that mean?
はあ？人間寄りってなんで？
Is that also why she has a change in personality? That she was like slowly turning more human after she got killed and started regenerating?
さあ、なんででしょう。
That's why she doesn't just, again, think mechanically, I guess, robotically. Arkwood giggles as she skips away from me. She looks like a butterfly fluttering about.
ま、風邪のはずがないんだよな。
That still doesn't explain why she would sneeze, though.
吸血鬼は風邪をひかないって先輩も言ってたし。
Is this when he mentioned Ciel? Becoming more human sounds a bit pointless to me, if not outright dangerous, but as long as she's making a steady recovery, I'm happy. Feeling relieved, I lift my face up to see...
先輩ってあの女のこと？
Arkwood standing even closer to me than she was before, glaring into my soul.
なんだよいきなり。あの女って誰さ？
とぼけないで。あの女はあの女よ。ブローブと戦っていたあいつ。やっぱり昼間はあいつにまとわりつかれてるのね。
いや、そんなことは。
I'm the one clinging to Ciel, but telling Arkwood that would spell certain doom.
まあ、吸血鬼のことを教えてくれたのは先輩だけど。いいじゃないか。先輩もお前もやってることは同じなんだから。 ロアは倒したんだし、もう敵対する理由はないんだろ。
That is a good reason. They still haven't explained why they hate each other.
理由はなくても相入れないの、私たちは。いい？神祖であろうと使徒であろうと、吸血鬼にとって大公者は敵なの。前にも話したでしょ？あいつらがどれだけ陰湿な奴らかって。もう忘れちゃったの？シキのバカ。
I mean, does she, as a true ancestor, does she really feel connected to the dead apostles? I mean, she kills them so readily, right? Like the dead apostles. So far, the dead apostles she's killed on sight, but she hasn't killed the executors on sight. So, like, what?
覚えてる。ちゃんと覚えてます。確か。
She explained all this to me at the hotel, an organization formed for the sole purpose of exterminating vampires, hunters of heretics who execute the Lord's teachings in His holy name. The executors of the church, Ciel's true allegiance. The main reason dead apostles operate in secret is because they are afraid of being discovered by them.
吸血鬼の天敵だろ。夜の巡回だって、もともとは先輩の仕事なんだろうし。
So
お前はなんだ？吸血鬼界の裏切り者か？
see, like, well, why are you killing vampires then? You kill a lot of vampires.
それを言うなら、私は吸血鬼にとっての天罰よ。
Okay, but well, whatever. Yeah, still no real explanation for why. I mean, I don't know. I know it's really weird because, like, technically, executors can't kill true ancestors. Normally. I don't know, it's weird.
まあいいわ。大公者なんて虫みたいなものだし、連中がどんなに出てきても関係ない。でもあいつだけは別。
Oh? I didn't know that. Yeah, well, like I said, yeah, I mean, well, actually, I did kind of say that earlier. That, like, as far as we can tell, executors are normally, like, not a threat at all to true ancestors. I mean, again, I say true ancestors as if there's multiple, but, you know. Well, you know, true ancestors are above ancestors, and ancestors normally can't be dealt with by executors, so... But yeah, she can. This has seriously gotten under Arkwood's skin. She can't even stand to say Ciel's name. I give up. I knew they didn't get along, but I had no idea it was this bad.
それで、あなたはどうなの？シキ。あいつをどう思っているのかってこと。私、シキのことは何だっていいんだけど、あいつだけはダメ。あなたの気持ちがあいつに向くだけで許せない。
Yeah, this is where the root happens, the split. Those crimson eyes begin to flare. Hold up. She looks like she's seriously ready to kill someone.
許せないってなんだよ。先輩は俺の学校の先輩だ。いつも世話になってるし、グローブの時だって助けてくれた。アルクエイドだって先輩と一度話せば仲良く。
絶対にならない。私はあいつが嫌いだし、あいつも私を殺したがってるし。シキは騙されているだけよ。埋葬機関の人間はみんな好戦的で、隙あらば襲いかかってくるんだから。
I mean, she has more, you know, more experience with them. You kind of have to believe in her.
だいたい、あなたは初めからあいつの正体を知っていたの？どうせいつも通り、一般人のふりをしてあなたをからかっていたんじゃない？
That's true. Ciel did hide her identity from me. But she had her reasons. The only way she can protect people is by keeping the existence of vampires a secret. Since vampires disguise themselves as human, revealing her identity would alert them of the executor's presence. Besides, Ciel is still Ciel. Knowing the truth hasn't changed that. Having lunch with her, laughing about pointless nonsense with Arihiko, spending time together in the tea ceremony room, it was all so much fun. If such a thing were possible, I might have been better off never knowing Ciel's identity.
そう。シキ、あなた、
あの女と私、どっちの味方？
You're on the wrong route, aren't you? Her tone is openly hostile. It seems that Ciel is an enemy that Arcuid will never embrace. That's why she's glaring at me so fiercely. Anyone who sides with her enemy, even Shikitono himself, is her enemy too.
そんなことは絶対にないと思うけど、あの女に関わるのはやめて。万が一にも仲良くなんてなってたら殺すから。
アルクエイド。
The words get stuck in my throat. I mean, it should be worth noting, though, that if you told Ciel that you were 100% going to be working with Arcuid, I feel like Ciel would also say that she'd kill you. Just a guess. Have to admit that I'm more drawn to Arcuid. Can't deny how important to me Ciel is. Oh man, this is actually pretty difficult to tell what's even happening at this point. I mean, again, every time I think like, well, we're in a route, you know, a route is a route. You know, you're stuck in it no matter what happens. But there is a true ending. I just remembered. So I would assume the more faithful to Ciel I am, the better. Wait, how did this go around the choice here? There was two choices here, and apparently I went around the choice. Same with this one, right? It's so weird. How close to the end are we? Sheesh. This night's going a little longer than I was expecting. A little. Okay. Sorry, Arcuid. We're going for the true ending. I've got to stop. Well, like she said, like I have to stop towing the line. I got to be a lot more straightforward. No matter what, I can't think of Ciel as an enemy.
先輩は大切な人だ。味方とか敵とかそういう割り振りはできない。
何よ、それじゃあ私はどういう割り振りなの？
お前は放っておけないやつっていうか。
Unable to say what I mean, I awkwardly scratched the back of my neck. Even tonight, I withstood the pain of going without glasses just so I could walk around town with Arcuid. I don't know why, but just being with this woman makes me feel like my sins and fears are all erased. So maybe because he's not straightforward enough, she, like, views him as not being faithful to her trust. So much so that I have to consciously force myself not to wrap my arms around her right here and now. Sheesh. Sheesh, so wait. So then technically he is... Okay, I guess that's the thing though. It's more like a lust versus love? Maybe? I mean, they're definitely telling us that everything with Arcuid is a lust type of thing. To some extent. But with Ciel, I mean, like, I think that, you know, since we already have one person that's lust, you'd have to view Ciel as being somebody who's more like faithful love by comparison. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like that's semantics. I mean, you know, he just got to learn about Arcuid only a few days ago. You know, like if he knew Arcuid for a couple months and talked to her more often, then, you know, they'd probably like each other at least as much as Ciel. If not more. In other words, I just want her.
ああ、いや、それは。
Yeah, see. He's not going to give a straightforward answer. This is bad. This is really bad. It's unfair, really. Arcuid is just charming me with her overwhelming beauty. That's gotta be it.
ああ、もういいだろ。なんだってそんなことを聞くんだ、お前は。
Because you're literally saying that you want to side with her mortal enemy.
そんなの私にわかるわけないでしょ。もういい、私帰る。また明日ね、シキ。
I lose my cool and yell at her, only to have her yell at me right back.
帰るっていきなりか。というか、明日もここで待ち合わせでいいんだな。
当たり前です。
Well, we really are in like full on boyfriend girlfriend mode right here. Like this, I don't think it ever quite felt like this. But then again, like it was almost like in the last route, it was like she had the power and he just had to follow her and be with her as much as he could, kind of, sort of. Whereas here, it's like, I want to be with you, but I also kind of want a normal life. So it's more of a normal relationship, which could be an issue because she doesn't have a life outside of this relationship. So, that's a bit of an issue.
もし破ったら四季の家に押しかけてやるから。
Okay. Yeah. Arkwood leaps away in a flash after taking a horrifying parting shot. She's mad at me, but we're still on for tomorrow. This flip-flopping is driving me crazy. Damn it, she's a real girl now. I hate it when that happens. She should have stayed a perfect princess. But if that made her angry, it might be reasonable to assume that Arkwood likes me in her own way. Okay, at least he figured that one out. I'd feel the same way if a friend of mine were close with someone I didn't like. She claims to be a vampire, but what is she thinking? Not that I'd know what vampires think about in the first place. With a sigh, I head out from the park. I still have my strengths, yet my steps feel strangely heavy. Is Ciel gonna show up? I still feel like Ciel's gonna show up. I guess we'll see. No, maybe not. Kind of feels like the end of the day now. Oh, wait, where? Okay, well, epilogue. Okay. The iron rod is raised high and swung down in one fluid motion. At its end is a blade over 50 centimeters long. Why would you go by centimeters? Just say like half a meter long, or no, it's not even half a meter, is it? Wait, is it half a meter? I don't know. I don't think so. It has seen many years of use, and its once keen edge remains permanently blunt. Weighing in at 1 metric ton, gravity is all it takes to propel it downward. We're just in full fantasy now. The dull blade crushes the skull of its panic-stricken prey with its immense weight. The force with which it turns bone to powder is something to behold. A natural response. The sight is enough to horrify anyone. They cannot comprehend what is happening. They cannot comprehend what has just happened. This is a safe zone. This area is supposed to be free of danger. But this town is no longer safe for vampires. The true ancestor princess and the executors have seen to that. With Spose on the prowl, they are steadily running out of places to hide. Why don't you just leave the town? Would it be too easy to catch you otherwise? Like, literally just get on a bus and leave town. Faced with their imminent doom, the vampires were offered a deal. If they met certain conditions, they would be allowed to escape. So with their guards let down, they gathered here to accept the offer. From who? Really? How would they be this stupid? Whatever.
ここは雲の子みたいに逃げ回るところでしょ?
A massive weapon in hand, the woman in nun's clothing tilts her head confusedly. She sees 13 faces around her. Each one belongs to a pathetic fugitive vampire come to beg for their life.
14人もいるから広い場所にしてあげたのに、これじゃあちょっと拍子抜けかな?
The nun sighs, hanging her head in disappointment. The turnout isn't decent for a story she made up on the fly. This would never happen back in her home country. Even given a month to drum up anticipation, only 2 or 3 at most would take the bait. But there are as many as 14 here. The layout of the city, coupled with how gullible people are in this country, made it laughably easy. I am going to have to stew on this. I am going to have to research this. Because I have always thought that anime, even live action shows, all Japanese media really portrays Japanese people as weirdly, I don't know, I wouldn't call it naive or gullible, but that is like the right word for it. Maybe it's more like, I mean, I usually just call them stupid because they're like, that would never happen or that's impossible. And it's like, what are you talking about? That seems, what? You know? But also, you do have to remember this is the same country that's like, yes, strange adult person, you can watch my child for a few minutes. We trust people here. And it's like, okay, you can say trust is a good thing, but that still seems a little excessive. But you'll have to look into this. Like, it's weird that they're actually saying this because in every other media I've ever seen, they never call Japanese people gullible or no, yeah, gullible
おっと
or stupid.
今1匹潰れたからあと13匹よね。弦が悪いからもう1匹潰しておこっか。
She swings her 2-meter-long murder weapon. The halberd meets no resistance as it sinks into the head of its next victim, splattering it like a rotting pumpkin. Shouldn't she kill them quickly? Human-like shrieks of despair fill the air. The men and women gathered here are mostly in their early 20s. None of them had even seen the face of their blood-soaked companion, but they've all received the message. The nun slowly steps forward, savoring every second of this spectacle.
あらあら、危機感のないいい子ちゃんばかりなのに、こういう時の反応はどこの国でも一緒なのね。
I mean, I would like to mention that this is still really, really bizarre. That she's like, ooh, I love seeing their despair. And it's like, these people are acting very human right now. Like, they're not acting like vampire murder machines, which is how the church always kind of views them. Like, they must be exterminated. No, no remorse, no, whatever. But like then here you have like her being like, ha ha ha, I love to kill you. Like, what?
真夜中の台所に集まったネズミみたい。電気がついた時、我先にと逃げ出すんだけど。ほら、か
I wonder
わいそう。こんな風にネズミ捕りに捕まって。
This is definitely making me think that she's gonna die. But it's hard to tell exactly how or who would do it, you know? Blood sprays into the air for the third time this night. The menacing blade sets its sights on a nearby mark and comes swinging down on top of their head. This time the impact is devastating. There is nothing left of the skull as it bursts open. The blade runs through the victim's neck to the center of their torso.
はーい、注目。これからお姉さんが害獣駆除をするわけだけど、変な勘違いされるとイラッとくるので、あらかじめ説明しておきますね。まずはこの大部屋。結界を張ったので、あなたたちは絶対に逃げられません。窓から出ると溶けるから注意してね。
Really? Melt?
次に私、何があろうと一匹も見逃さないので、私に命乞いをしても意味がありません。
Why is she even saying this? Like, why? Like, wouldn't it make her job easier if she just didn't tell them about the bounded field? Or if they did try to beg for their life?
最後にあなたたち、助けを呼ぶ自由だけはあるので、助かりたかったら私にではなく神様にお祈
I
り
mean, couldn't they also just kill her? Right? Maybe that's what she wants too, but... Like, why is she even stronger than vampires in the first place? They don't explain why these executors are stronger than vampires.
本当に神様がいて、あなたたちにそれだけの価値があるのなら、奇跡が起きて逃げられるよう世界は作られているはずです。
The holy woman removes her halberd from her last victim, now nothing more than a pile of flesh. And thus the panic that has taken hold of the captives reaches its peak. They run in all directions trying to get away from the nun, but their legs are like lead. This place has already been warded against vampires. The ward has no effect on humans, but for low-ranking dead apostles it feels like being trapped at the bottom of the ocean. Unable to run, their bodies grow slower by the second. Oh wow, that's pretty strong. What a weird thing to say. You're gonna split me in half like a fish! Ah! Like, what? Really? Okay. But yeah, you can really see where, like, okay, at one point in this route, you could definitely be like, oh, maybe Shiki's gonna come around and actually like Noelle. Nah, when Noelle's doing this, not just killing without remorse, but killing with the most pleasure we've ever seen. Like, we haven't seen any of the other characters have this much fun killing. It's really weird how much fun she has.
嘘ですよね先生。助けてくれるって。僕だけは助けてくれるって言ったじゃないですか。いい子にしていれば見逃してくれるって。
The nun's smile does not waver. She raises her halberd, its blade dripping with blood, and brings it down on the skull of her next prey. Her breathing grows ragged. It's as if she is excited by the scream extracted by that blow. I assume, though, that she's also, like... They've shown it before, but, like, she gets overconfident easily. She's just like, I'm having so much fun killing, and it's like, doesn't really think about anything other than just easily killing the weak character, the weak vampires. See, why did Noelle even tell everybody here, supposedly? Like, maybe this was all in her mind. But, like, she supposedly told everybody, this is your only options. And then everybody literally ignored what she said and started doing exactly what she said that they were going to do. It's like, oh no, the door is like acid. Like, I already told you that. Oh, I'm going to beg for my life and maybe I'll live. I already told you that's not going to work. Like, what? The nun sinks her blade into the back of the defenseless young man. Eyes bloodshot, she stops just short of cutting out his spasming spine.
君、今妙なこと口走らなかった？人殺し？人殺しって何？あんたたちみたいな害獣を殺すことが人殺し？今まで散々人間を食い物にしてきたくせに、自分のことを人間と思ってたの？
How does she know how many people they've killed? How does she know that they killed any people? We don't know how many they've killed. If they've killed anyone, technically. I don't know. Seems excessive. His screams utterly fill the room. The 5 remaining captives can do nothing but tremble as a horrific scene unfolds before them. The nun drops her weapon, then meticulously, relentlessly begins to torture her fallen prey. Maybe she's gonna die here. This is like pretty extreme. First, she uses a sacrament to restore his sense of pain. Then she nails his eyelids open. What is happening right now? Then she nails his eyelids open so he is forced to watch. She strips him naked, plays him, exposing his innards. One by one, she cuts out his organs with her black keys. The pain that assails him is enough to make him wish for death. After removing all his organs, she saws off his ears and nose. Upon seeing his own mutilated body, kill me is all he can think to say. For her final act, she cracks open his skull and fills it with holy water. To a vampire, holy water may as well be sulfuric acid. The brain shouldn't be able to feel pain, but the blessed liquid envelops her prey in an agony so complete that it transcends the senses, driving him mad. Kill me, he says over and over, a record player on repeat. The sister lets out a sigh that sounds out of place in this hell. She lifts her halberd with a grunt and destroys the endless looping phonograph.
今ので満足しちゃったし、 あなたたちは適当で済ませるから。
Wait, why did
手
she
抜き作業でごめんなさいね。
why did she torture that one guy specifically again? What? The nun flashes the group a sweet smile. It is the final straw. They go into a frenzy, shrieking as they pound against the walls even as bounded field melts away their hands and feet. They are begging for freedom from the depths of their beings. Yeah, we get it. Spare me. I'll come home. I swear. I'll just come home. Mom. Haven't eaten anyone. These people just attacked me. I'm not even a vampire. I mean, what if it's true, though? She wouldn't care, you know? One left, perhaps tired from her efforts, the woman takes a moment to catch her breath. The sole survivor asks a question of the resting nun. Why didn't any of them try to fight back, though? I'm confused. Because, like, again, I'm very confused how powerful the vampires are compared to her. I mean, maybe she's as powerful as, like, a level 5 or 6, maybe? I don't know.
なんで俺たちだったんだ。
はい。
俺たちはただの雑兵だ。放っておいても、あと数日で餓死していた底辺の怪物だった。あんたみたいな掃除屋がわざわざ手を出す必要のないクズだ。
Well, why would they starve to death? Why couldn't they just kill some humans?
なのにどうしてこんな。
Because I like to give you hope. It's so fun.
散々怖がらせてさ、対向車ってのはもっと効率的で小物だけを狙うんじゃなかったのか。
Because she sucks at fighting. The nun's eyes go wide at the vermin's unexpected rebuke. She is truly surprised, not by the fact that her prey is showing such incredible humanity.
あのね、弱い者が弱い者を襲うのは当たり前のことじゃないの。
By going by that, she just sounds like another vampire. But by the fact that it's asking her about something so obvious to any human, even though that's not true.
自分より強い相手なんかと戦うわけが。私は弱いから自分より弱いやつにしか手を出さない。これ人間社会じゃなくて生き物の一般常識よ。
Yes, because as we all know, when a pack of lions hunts down an elephant, the pack is clearly stronger than the elephant, right? Or the rhino or whatever.
俺たちを集めた吸血鬼だからじゃないか。
そう。都合よくストレスをぶつけられる相手が欲しかっただけよ。
Yeah, see, like, what's the difference between killing humans and vampires to her, right?
ああ、最悪。あなたたちって脳まで腐ってるのね。もしかしてクリームでも詰まってる？詰まってたのよね。そんな甘ったるい考えだから神様は助けてくれなかったのよ。
She delivers her final blow. The halberd slices through. Yeah, we get it. Like, we get it. Like, what's the point of this? This is so stupid. So is she gonna die here? After cleaning the room of all traces of the corpses, she scattered across it. The nun goes outside. Excitement that courses through her only moments ago has evaporated. She wears a dejected look on her face as she throws down her blood-stained halberd. With dead eyes, she lets out the air in her lungs. It is such a depressing sigh that it sounds like her soul leaving her body.
雑魚どもをまとめて処理か。さすが下っ端。ドブさらいだけは慣れてるじゃねえか。
Hearing a voice behind her, the nun frantically arms herself. She's adept at picking off enemies weaker than her, but woefully inadequate when it comes to anything of equal or greater power. Her tendency is to handicap herself by imagining the worst-case scenario, a habit that prevents her from deploying her true strengths. So what? She's way stronger than she knows, but she just doesn't realize it. Even now, thoughts of the worst are already beginning to form in her mind. Though she has yet to see who the voice belongs to, it's Mario. The very thought of an unknown third party approaching is enough to chip away at her sanity.
あんだけの殺しをやっておいて何ブルってやがる。落ち着けよメス豚。てめえにとっちゃ神に等しい上司様だっつの。
Yeah, I don't get it.
マリオ、司祭代行。
Yeah, we already knew. Relieved, the nun relaxes her shoulders and lowers her halberd, but the knot of tension in her chest remains. She understands the danger that she's still in.
これは いぶり出すにはまず血液を集める兵隊を根絶する必要が。
Well, so did Mario not tell them that Rose dead?
知ってるよ。いちいち弁明すんな。初めっから見てたからな。スコアを。だがまあ、ちょいとやりすぎだな。使徒どもに懺悔の機会なんぞを与えやがったのは見なかったことにする。代行者の殺し方はそれぞれだからな。
What, letting them repent is not allowed? Weird.
問題は死体の数だ。中にはまだなりきれてない犠牲者もいたように見えたが、ね。
Yeah, that's why I was wondering. Like, isn't that a big deal? Like, oh no, they're clearly vampires, and it's like, oh, okay. Why are you assuming that they have all killed humans? Like, I thought that they're only vampires if they've killed a human, right?
いいえ、あれは吸血鬼より始末が悪いものです。あの少女は人間であるにもかかわらず、自分から奴らに協力して犠牲者を増やしていましたから。
Can she prove this?
当然の末路です。
Can she prove this?
はあ、チキンなてめえにしちゃ冷徹な判断だ。吸血鬼に関わった人間はみんな
Again, do they even know that? Anyway, I'll be right back.
頼もしい。
Be right back. Okay, so
何のご用でしょうか、司祭代行。定期連絡はしていますし、私の単独行動は許可されているのではないのですか？
ああ、奇跡会と埋葬機関は別管轄だ。てめえがシエルの相棒である以上、俺たちは対等だった。
yeah, that's what I thought. That's why I'm confused by that. Like, why was she acting like he's an enemy? Like, whatever. But how is she not Ciel's partner still?
だったとはどういうことで
Like
しょうか？
officially versus unofficially or whatever.
代行者シエルはてめえとのコンビを解くとよ。できうる限り早くてめえを引き取れなんて言ってきやがった。
That's right, she did say that the previous night.
なんで近いうちにてめえは俺の預かりだが、スコアも悪い、精神も不安定な不良物件を使うほど間抜けじゃねえ。
What does he mean her score sucks?
この一件が終わり次第、てめえは修道院送りだ。今のうちに身辺整理をしておけよ。
That seems pointless. To just send somebody to a convent. Because remember, she's super materialistic, remember? Wait, how can Ciel just send her? I mean, like, I know that Ciel's technically her boss, but it still seems weird that Ciel could just say, yeah, I'm going to send you to a different department in the church. That still seems weird. Like, I wouldn't think that she's so high up as her boss that she could literally transfer her, you know? The convent, an institution for the faithful who have chosen to lead a communal life under the teachings of the church. Yeah, we know what the convent is. Just as the Holy See... Who says the Holy See? Just as the Vatican is the smallest country in the world, each convent operates as its own isolated little world. Once a nun takes her vows, she pledges... I guess not everybody knows what a nun is, or what a nun is. Yeah, you gotta stay there as a nun, separate from the outside world. You know, you're. Anyway, the point is that Noelle is super materialistic. There's another word. Well, you know, she likes to see people suffer, which is like, you know, obviously. I mean, I don't really know why she's part of the church in the first place. It's very confusing that it's like, oh, she likes to... I mean, saying she likes to party is a little much, but like, it's kind of like that. Like, you know, she likes to indulge in the pleasures of the flesh. No, not even though. She doesn't have sex or anything, though. I don't know, whatever. She just likes to drink and have freedom. I don't know, it's so weird. Why can't she just leave the church? What would happen? Like, they would just kill her? I mean, honestly, at this point, that she'd probably prefer that over going to a convent, right? It's a fine existence for those who seek it. Yeah, no kidding. You're not supposed to just be sent to a convent. However, for those who do not, being forced to live in the closed-off world of the convent is akin to torture. I mean, I guess that's one way to say it, but like, anything can be torture if you're sent there against your will. So it's like, yeah, there is a reason that Noelle could not become anything but an executor. So it is as an executor that she would be Wait. There is a reason that Noelle could not become anything but an executor. We're not being told this reason, though. So it is as an executor that she would be re-educated, okay, if she were sent back to the convent. Wait, so she would just go back to the convent, be retaught how to be an executor, and then be sent out as an executor again? The brutal training she survived when she was younger is something she does not believe she can go through again. I wonder what kind of brutal training it is. Also, you would think it'd be easier if you've already done it. It's like basic training in the army. Like, what, it's harder if you've already done it? But worse than anything, being sent there would mean undergoing a full body examination? For executors, chastity is not determined by one's virginity, but the purity of their human body. Human body. Okay. So right now, that examination is something she has to avoid at all costs. Maybe it's mind. Maybe it's her... But they're saying human body. Like, it makes sense if it was like her mind. Like, they'll do a psychological exam. Oh no! Like, okay, that makes sense. But then, like, they're saying the purity of her human body. What's that mean? I don't understand. Well, he can because he's your boss, I guess. It's also weird that he says this because, like, we see so many generic guys in black suits around him that just are completely incompetent. They can't do shit. So it's really weird that he's like, you suck. And it's like, what? It seems like she's more capable than your guys. I guess that's another possibility. that she hasn't shown how powerful she really is. So since she kills weaklings, it makes her look weaker than she really is, maybe? But it's also weird because he even said earlier that somebody has to take out the garbage, you know, kill the weak humans. So that's a little weird, like, right? Like, wait, somebody had to do that then. But maybe they would normally do it a lot more efficiently than just, here's 14 people and I'm going to torture them for no reason. Let me read this again, though. Look, this isn't some office job you commute to. No, I mean, she's a field agent, so I don't know what that's supposed to imply. We're fighting on the front lines here. Okay. Useless Fox and average Joe's barely above shit tier are both a burden we don't have time for. Are both a burden. Isn't it about time you gave up on being a capable member of society? I don't know what that's supposed to mean. You're not some baby with a dream. How old will you be this year? What's he talking about there? But also it's weird that she says that she's useless or average when she's not dead. If she was... actually, though, that's even weirder to say, because if you're average, that means there's people worse than you, right? You're average. You're average of everybody. Average in a job is not bad, because that means there are... We don't know how many people worse than you, you know? In fact, you know, there has to be average people, you would think. Like, how does having her just do her job burden anybody? She's still doing her job, right? So, whatever. She quells the defiance that flares up inside her. Yeah, why does her age matter, too? A hatred far greater than that a hatred far greater than that than when she felt during her cleanup earlier reared its head, but she pushed it back down with all her might. Again, I kind of want to see her at this point. Apparently, he's sending her to a fate worse than death, I guess. I'm gonna have to look up what they're talking about. Like, why wouldn't she just, you know, fight back, right? This boy is weaker. Okay. This boy is weaker than she is. He's just some 12-year-old kid. She could turn him into mincemeat with a swing of her halberd. What a weird thing. Like, you're fighting people with magic, and you're like, but I got big stick that I can kill him with. Like, what? You know, like, what? Also, like, why not try to escape not in front of somebody who's basically literally the equivalent of a cardinal? However, he has far too many connections, far too much power for her to defy him. If she ever wants to be better than mediocre, she has no choice but to curry his favor. That is suspicious. But considering that Mario's here, he can just take her spot. It's true. But I don't know what a Keats is. But the point is that Ciel is being very suspicious. But again, it's to his advantage if there's infighting, I guess. For some reason. A little vampire in her. That's a really stupid thing to say, though. Oh, the one thing we know is that she will kill Roa. But you don't know what else she'll do in the process of killing Roa. It doesn't matter for some reason. In a rare moment, he drops his usual foul attitude and speaks maturely. The boy's voice rings faintly with resignation.
三下は何も考えず黙ってギーギー回ってればいいんだよ。
So she has enough time to escape, okay. Or whatever. Or whatever the fuck. With one last tirade, the boy leaves the back alley. Or maybe she's gonna die before she leaves, though. Only the blood-splattered nun remains. After making sure that the boy has indeed left, she picks up her weapon and swings it into a discarded steel beam with all her might. Because she's your boss. He's your boss, basically. Clanging of metal does not come just once. Swings a total of 8 times, hurtling curses not meant for human ears. This, I don't know what the curses would be. The steel beam is completely crushed, now just a pitiful wreck, a sculpture perfectly portraying rage. The woman lets go of the halberd, her shoulders heaving. She has overexerted herself, lacking the physical strength to lift her weapon on her own. She typically casts a sacrament each time she swings it to reduce its weight. That sounds awful. That sounds really awful. Like, really? Wait, I am very confused how weak and how strong she is at the same time. She's so physically weak, she actually has to cast a spell every time to lift the halberd, which is like, what? Meanwhile, Ciel actually has super strengths. Also, Noelle was like overpowering Shiki in that one fight at that, in the last route. So like, yeah, the halberd, cool, she can swing the halberd really strong, okay, but isn't that like the only thing she can do? But then like in that fight, I thought she was moving super fast. But this time she swung away with nothing but raw fury. She laughs dryly at this desperate, self-destructive act that may very well have snapped the muscles in her arms. By the way, it should have been said, no way could I ever swing this thing with my own strength. Not no way I could ever. I mean, like, both work, but no way could I ever. Makes more sense. Still, her anger does not subside. The situation has changed. She knows she needs to stay calm and devise a countermove, but her heart refuses to cooperate. I mean, he's her boss, I guess. You could curry favor with somebody else, I guess. Then, at this of all times, because it is time. Oh, that's right. Isn't she, like, possibly turning into a vampire? They like addressed that, but then also ignored it. It was really weird. A nightmarish spasm runs through her body. And did she forget that she got bit by a vampire? Like, what? She crumples as her insides assail her. She kneels on the ground, digging her fingers into the dirt as she clings on to her current self. Nausea comes over her, accompanied by a terrifying chill that freezes her to the bone. Though she has never experienced it herself, she imagines this is what morning sickness must feel like. But the imaginary child in her womb is surely not human. I don't know what she's talking about. 2 more days? I only have 2 more days? Maybe this is to show how desperate she's going to be in the next 2 days? A weak voice inside her posits that she might not even have that much time. Her back feels like it's about to split open. She puts a dirt-covered hand on her mouth to hold down whatever it is that threatens to burst out of her stomach. Okay. Weird. I'll kill some more vampires tonight. I'll kill even more vampires tomorrow. That way I'll be saved. I'll find salvation. I'll find the revenge I've been chasing for 13 years. What? Okay, what is this referencing? Still shivering from the cold, she forces herself back onto her feet. The nun picks her up her halberd with brute strength and leaves the makeshift execution site. A twisted smile plastered on her face. Yeah, it's really weird how mentally unstable she is. It's very, very confusing. Like, 1 second, she's just the cockiest person ever, and the next, she's literally the most miserable person ever. It's just so weird. I don't know. It's 12 a.m. I slink back to my room in the middle of the night while everyone is sleeping. Sneaking out and back in is starting to feel more familiar. I change into my pajamas, crawl into bed, and fall asleep. My brain must be tired after how much I've used my mystic eyes, even though I don't feel that bad physically. I take off my glasses, set them next to the pillow, close my eyes. Wait. I feel like I was thinking about something, but I give in to sleep. Okay. An unpleasant floating sensation washes over me, but I manage to clamp down on it as I fall asleep and release my grip on consciousness. I don't know what that was about. Weird. Maybe it's like, oh no, I feel the story choices. I tear off my covers and get back out of bed. The leftover energy in my body is keeping me awake, while my mind is desperate for respite, a slow feeling of torture. There's nothing... Wait, a slow feeling? Slow... So, that's so weird. My leftover energy in my body is keeping me awake, while my mind is desperate for respite. A slow feeling of torture. That's a fragment sentence. It just says. There's nothing to do but go over to the sunroom. Hisui and Kohaku would notice if I turned on the lights in my room, but the lights from the sunroom can only be seen from outside. I'll just grab another book tonight and look at the words until I get sleepy. (1989) AD. No one would put AD, okay. I was born in this world, the child of a shopkeeper in the French countryside. With the East Asian features I inherited from my mother, I grew up feeling like a foreigner in my own town. Even so, the townspeople were amiable folk, always welcoming me with a smile. To repay their kindness, I did my best to live my life positively and honestly. I helped my father, went to school, dreamed about the future. As many children do, I struggled with puberty, which came early for me, but I never doubted that I was fortunate. I knew I was privileged with a rather charmed life. But time passed by so quickly, and suddenly my 12th birthday was upon me. I mean, that's not that bad, but okay. Abruptly, a change came over me. Sometimes, when playing with my friends, I would have this sudden desire to snap their slender necks. Sometimes, when I saw a beggar at the side of the road, I might imagine stabbing their malnourished stomach for the fun of it. The impulses came without warning and followed no pattern. I would unexpectedly find my head filled with violent thoughts, but just as I was about to act on them, I would remember my own name and run away with my face in my hands, holding back the scream in my throat and the tears in my eyes. I was healthy of body, sound of mind, and held no hatred for anyone. Yet whenever I was faced with something within my power to destroy, I felt compelled to try, and I would find my face contorted with joy at the idea. I became afraid of going outside, afraid of people, afraid of myself. I was terrified of the joy that swelled within me with every passing day. This kind of sounds like this might be Noelle's backstory, but I guess we'll see. But I could tell no one about it, so I grew more reclusive day by day until I stopped leaving my room altogether. I kept my composure to the very end. Had I developed a split personality? Was I possessed by someone else's spirit? I never once entertained such unscientific notions. I mean, otherwise I would have said that this was like somebody else was the mystic eyes of death's perception, but it does sound like Noelle. In the end, my conclusion was that these were the same fleeting, invasive thoughts that everyone shared. I might complain when my father came to wake me after I stayed up late the night before. I might get upset after being splashed with water by a passing car while I walked down the main street after a heavy rainfall. These impulses were no different, small internal rebellions that momentarily took me over. But while perhaps other people could control them, I was never someone who could go against their own heart. I knew it was only a matter of time before I ended up doing something that I couldn't take back. All I could do was lock myself up in my room. I was dead set on living out my days doing nothing and meeting no one. That way I wouldn't have the chance to get angry about anything or build resentment for anyone. Though I thought I should have feared myself less, trusted God more, and turned to a priest for advice. Hiding away in the prison I'd made of my room wore away at my soul, until eventually I reached a breaking point. That day, with myself fully transformed into someone else, an innocuous thought came to my mind, that I was thirsty. Slowly I dragged my weakened body out of my room. My parents, who were relaxing in the living room, came rushing to me as I emerged for the first time in a month. My father greeted me, concern in his voice. My mother smiled, tears welling in her eyes, and I killed them both. It was all too easy. My body was still weak, still thirsty, but I had the strength to bite down on my parents' throats and drink and drink. After draining them both of blood and life, I stood up.
素晴らしい。この肉体は過去最高の才能だ。
An unfamiliar voice spoke with my tongue. The thing that was once me painted its mouth red and wrapped its own body in an embrace. What providence was this? Typically, the vessel I reincarnated into are all chosen in advance. First, they must possess authority in the land of their birth. Second, their family must possess some unique talent. The first condition is the most important. The second merely supplementary. My primary task is to find a family line fulfilling the first condition and set it as the destination of my next reincarnation. Yeah, it's Roa. Okay. Roas. Yeah, that's right. These are all about Roa, to be fair. Though, this was quite a jump in timeline. However, in my previous life, the princess killed me before I could make my decision. The princess? Oh, right, the princess. Instead, I was forced to abridge the process and rely on astrology to guide me, which is how I ended up with this body, belonging to the child of a middle-class family with low social standing. I knew it would be challenging to take control of the town under these circumstances. Building influence in the few years I had before the princess found me was next to impossible. How would she find you, though? Like, how would she find you? What? But I did not despair. If anything, I felt euphoric, as if my body was brimming with light. When weighing lineage against talent, I had always chosen the former. As a consequence, my host had never physically excelled. But this time was different. This body possessed magic circuits in such abundance and quality that they could generate more magical energy than 100 mages? That seems weird. Even the most talented mages wouldn't be considered defective compared to this. So it's just a freak, basically, just a freak that's the strongest being ever. Like 100 talented mages is like crazy powerful. Like seriously unimaginable in this world. It's very weird. I could only laugh at the miscalculation of my past generations. All this time, my conditions were backwards. Yeah, no shit. Like, why wouldn't you want a powerful body so you can kill Arkwood? Doesn't he want to kill Arkwood? I thought. Authority and influence can be acquired with time. Yeah, no shit. However, a truly outstanding body is a gift one must be born with by the grace of the Lord. If it was not until my 50th, I'm just saying word, reincarnation that I finally realized this truth. After I awoke, I thought about transforming the town into a necropolis. As quietly and inevitably as water seeps through dry soil, I abandoned the disorderly methods I had previously employed. This time I proceeded gently, taking care not to spill too much blood at once. Yeah, no shit. Why? He was just stupid before that. He's just fucking the dumbest ever. I was careful and methodical. Within a single night, the town was mine. Well, really? One night? Sheesh. Wait, he said he was doing it slowly, and then in a single night, the town was his? What? From there, I painstakingly, lovingly built my castle from the ground up. I would not let a single human escape, but nor would I let them die unnecessarily. First, I neatly frosted the cake with despair, then little by little, sneering all the while, decorated with jam and jelly meat in resplendent fashion. It wasn't the most efficient process, but there was nothing that could be done about that. My reincarnated consciousness cannot exist on its own. I myself am nothing more than knowledge and drive. My personality is reconstructed for each new generation, based on the character and values of my host. Though I have control over my vessel, its thought processes and norms do not change entirely. Then why is it that when he's Roa in the modern day, he acts like a crazed psychopath? Like that was just the true form of Shiki's brother? Like really? I don't know about that. In other words, my body belongs to my reincarnated self, but my original self remains. It retains its consciousness and memories, but it slumbers amidst a nightmare of its own creation from which it cannot awake. Which is why I remember the feeling of biting into my parents' throats. I remember the days I spent tormenting the souls of the townspeople who once smiled at me, slowly melting them down one by one. All in all, it took only a week. In a week, I held the lives of everyone in this town in the palm of my hand, mine to play with for my own amusement. I wished to lose all reason, go insane, and yield everything to my impulses. But if I did, I knew that I would only commit even worse atrocities. I had to hold on. If I maintained my sanity, at least I could limit the harm I could do. Destruction is close at hand now. Not of this town, but of something much greater. I find myself rejoicing that my magnum opus is coming to fruition. For this reason I have chased eternity. For this reason I have collected the blood of so many. For this reason others like myself, masters of far greater necropoli, have converged on this town. They spelled necropoli wrong. They just said necropolis. Before it should be necropolises or necropoli, one of those two. Before long, my consciousness will flicker out. Tonight, a world would end, but I would fade away before I could see it, cursed to the last. If this nightmare had one saving grace, it would be that its end came quickly. Oh, we're actually going to see her in a dress? It's weird because we never see her in this dress in this game, I feel like. The pale woman arrived with crimson moon. I don't know who she is, and yet I do. The sixth ritual begins. With this body, I believed it possible that I would finally have that woman in white. And then the profane ceremony was brought to a halt. The white vampire princess and I did battle, ending in my demise. With my next reincarnation already prepared, I transmigrated, leaving only my corpse behind. The woman departed, and my body was brought to the Holy See. To the Vatican. I don't like that they say the Holy See. So that's supposed to be... Okay, I'll just let you know. I already know it's Ciel. You know what? No, screw it. I've already ran into that information. I don't know any more than that though. That's why I'm like, I don't mind mentioning that. Like, okay, I do know that Ciel was Roa's last body before the current one, but that's all I know. Like, just literally, it might as well be nothing. Honestly, it's like, okay, so, all right, but it's also confusing because like that would have been 13-ish years ago, 10 years ago, somewhere around there. Yet Ciel hasn't aged, so maybe it's because because she died, so she's kind of like a resurrected corpse. They did say she's part vampire, I guess. Like, I wasn't aware of that. All I was aware was she was a former host of Roa, but I was like, wait, why would Roa, normally Roa only leaves when the host dies. So like, how did that happen? But I guess somehow they revived her, I guess. So I guess the next day is called Arc and Ciel. Arc. No, it's making me think of Joan of Arc. Joan of Arc. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Maybe, well, she is probably supposed to be similar to Joan of Arc in a way. Maybe it was in France. It did kind of look like France a little bit. Maybe. So like Ciel of Arc. I don't know why it'd be Joan of Arc versus Arc and NCL. Like, anyway, yeah. See you guys next time. Took a bit longer for this day than I was expecting. You know, it was like 3.5 hours ish. I mean, you know, there was a break in there or two, but we'll see the next time. Definitely rough on your throat to talk this much. And I have a feeling that the next couple days are going to be long. I would think. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But you know, we have 5 days left. No, 4 days left. Well, no, 5 days left because 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 5. Though again, there's probably going to be one short day in there at least. But it is really weird to think that I could do an 8-hour stream and still only get through 2 days. It's really weird. And it did happen last time I was streaming the game. It's just, again, still pretty weird to think about. But yeah, I'll probably end up having some stuff filled in the meantime, just so I don't get too exhausted of speaking. But yeah, thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.